No introduction, no promotion, no sponsors, no pausing, no more waiting. It's time to roll initiative. I need whoever has the highest perception on your crew to roll initiative right now. I'm rolling initiative for the bounty hunter that is outside the hangar that is just cut off the arm of Rancesper and is now engaged in hand-to-hand combat with Tanal and Ren. Roll your initiative, whoever's got the highest initiative, and tell me what you get.
That's me. I have a 5D.
5. Sorry, for perception?
I'm sorry, 4D.
Thank you. Roll your 4D. Make sure your wild die is included. Tell me what you get.
Okay, do. Math. Sorry. No explosion, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus 4, 17.
You win initiative. You have a decision to make. Are you going to act first, or are you going to wait and react and let the other side act first, and you'll react to what they do?
This as a group, or
This
Geo,
is as a
just
group.
Geo?
So you're not all together, but this is as a group.
Oh. I'm gonna let the people who are there decide.
I'm gonna say to take action first is my vote.
Okay.
Given that we just seen Ren's arm get chopped off.
Okay, so because you're going to act first, I'm going to tell you what you all see. Tanal sees the armored bounty hunter that has descended off the roof, mortally wounded her sister. Ren is now wounded twice, which means Ren is going to be minus 2d for all actions that they take. Ren's arm is missing. Ren can take no actions that require the use of two hands. Tanal, you are in face-to-face proximity with an armored bounty hunter wielding a vibro sword. I'll remind you how the vibro sword works in a moment when it comes to combat. Gila went through the maintenance hatch. Gila is inside the hangar, having just stepped through the narrow passageway that leads from the inside to the outside. And Gila, I will need you to roll your perception right now to notice anything.
Okay. 14.
2 Pint, you've also come through the maintenance hatch right behind Gila. I need you to roll your perception.
6.
You're coming up behind Gila, and so you don't see this, but Gila does. Gila, you see across the hangar, suddenly, at the peripheral vision, movement on the upper ring, just where this other bounty hunter was also on the upper ring, but this is across the bay now, on the far side, over above the doors. There is a figure standing on the top of the ring, also in armor, with a weapon in their hands, with some kind of a visor face mask on, and they are looking down into the hangar as you and 2 Pint have emerged from it. Vilra, you cannot see this. The clamshell hull design of the freighter means that you can see an unobstructed view of a wide swath of the hangar floor, but it means your vision is blocked from above and you can't see from inside the cockpit, where you've been presumably working on getting the nav computer prepped for installation.
Can I hear anything?
You can roll perception for me. It's going to be a very difficult roll because of because you've been inside working with tools, doing your thing.
Yeah, totally fair. 15. Yeah. No explosions, no complications.
So for the moment, you hear tunes, or you hear tools and bits and pieces. And if you're playing any music, you can hear your own music, of course, right? But that's you've been doing work. Is what you've been doing. You all get to decide. You're all going to make your actions first. So you get to decide right now how many actions you're declaring for this round. Not what actions you're taking, but how many actions you want to take, remembering that every action you take beyond the first action is going to cause a multi-action penalty of -1d for each action afterwards. And so, Tanal, we're going to start with you, and then we're going to start with Ren.
1.
1 action. Ren, how many actions are you taking this turn?
2.
Okay.
Crazy.
Gila, how many actions are you taking this turn?
2.
2 Pint, how many actions are you taking this turn?
1.
Vilra, how many actions you take in this turn?
I take none. I'm just working on this shit. Do I have any reason to worry, to think I should leave? Any indication?
And sorry, Vilra, yes, because you do. Because Vilra, you were working in the cockpit. You can't see the person on the top of the ring. You can't see that. You don't even necessarily know that they've re-entered the ring at this point. You don't hear the scuffle outside, but you feel the scuffle outside, Vilra, because you feel a stabbing pain as Ren's fear and pain shoots out of her, and you catch that, without even realizing what's happening, and you know instinctively Ren's in trouble.
Well, I didn't even know Ren was here, so I think that is startling. Yes. Also, was that person within 10 meters of me? Because I had life
They were not
detection.
within 10 meters of you.
So okay.
I know that you'd be asking that question, but no, they were not.
Okay, they were not. So
because we don't have a battle map and you can't see the ranges, I will just tell you what the ranges are and the difficulties for things as we go.
Okay, so I think at that point she's like gasping for breath, and it's like almost confused because it's like, why is Ren here? How? Paint, and then immediately gets up and tries to leave. So I guess one action.
Okay. All right. Barnaby, what are you doing?
My first action is, I think, I just out of instinct of the way things have been going, I think she's going to try to shoot whoever is out up top.
What weapon are you carrying, Gila?
I was given by my girlfriend a blaster, so I'm going to use this girly pop blaster that I've been given.
Is it a blaster pistol or is it a holdout blaster?
Let me look at my notes. I believe it's the blaster pistol because I gave her the big gun.
Okay. So the distance to the top of the ring from the far side where you are is going to be long distance. It's for the blaster pistol, which means it's going to be a difficult roll, which means the base difficulty to hit is going to be a 16. And then the person on the wall will decide if they are going to let you try and roll a 16 or if they're going to try and dodge. So you tell me if you're going to shoot for your first action, and the difficulty is going to be 16.
To shoot, that's Dex.
So
plus,
you're
plus...
rolling your blaster, and apologize. Remind me how many actions you declared.
I declared 2.
So you're going to be minus 1d to this shot.
Okay.
And they are not going to dodge. They're going to see if you can hit a DC 16 shot at long range with a blaster pistol because of the number of meters between you.
Okay, and does the blaster get any extra D6s?
No. You get your wild die included in there.
Okay.
But you're minus 1d because of the 2 actions declared.
Gotcha. Ooh, explosion. Another explosion.
Oh.
20.
Gila, who's not comfortable holding a blaster pistol, continually laments, what am I supposed to do with this thing? Sees a figure that shouldn't be there on top of the ring, and that's dressed in armor, that's holding a rifle, that is not an Imperial snowtrooper, not anybody in Imperial garb, and instinctively draws the pistol and fires it and hits the target. And the person was not expecting. You need to roll your damage on that blaster pistol, and I'm going to roll their strength to resist.
I didn't write down the stats. I just wrote that I had the blaster pistol, but I did not write down the stats.
Blaster pistol is 4d damage.
4d damage?
And remember, your wild die is included in that as well.
10 points of damage?
So 10 is the damage roll, and then they have to beat that.
Okay, gotcha.
So they are wearing very similar armor to what Snall was wearing before. They're wearing both physical armor with minor, so it's plus 1d to their physical to resist, and plus 2 to energy attacks. So just a plus 2, not a full D. And they got 13 on their strength roll. You hit them dead to rights with a blaster shot that they didn't think that you would be able to do that. And it catches them right on the chest plate of the armor that they're wearing, and just causes them to stagger back for a second. But for the moment, it does not slow them down. That's your first action. 2 Pint, your first action?
I didn't see what was happening before, but I imagine watching Gila shoot in the sky. I have an idea. Yeah, okay. Then in that case, I think Two Pint would like to try and sneak and like fly up and get around like behind this person.
Okay, so what the best way for you to do that would be to get out of their sight. You would have to go under the ship and to the far side of the ring so that they can't see you anymore from where they're standing on the ring.
Okay.
So you
then,
you can basically just do a move at this point, and then once you move out from behind cover of the ship, you'll make a sneak roll, and we'll see if they notice you. But for the moment, you're just going to do a full move. Did you declare more than one action this turn, or just the one?
Just the one.
So that's your full move, and you scurry under the ship.
Mm.
Gila, you hear a voice call out droid, and you realize that there's a second figure on top of the ring. The second figure wasn't standing. The second figure you couldn't see immediately because they are laying down with a rifle aimed down into the ring as the other person stands beside them. And the person that's laying down calls out droid. Vilra, you're only taking one action. You're going to move, presumably outside.
Yeah, move towards where that feeling came from.
Sure.
And I'm
so
assuming
for you, all it's going to do is it's going to get you to the top of the ramp from inside the ship at this point, but that's what you're doing is you're running from the cockpit down to the ramp, okay?
I'd like to make sure I have my lightsaber with me.
So your lightsaber was in your backpack, but you did have a blaster pistol on you, right?
Yeah, my backpack was with me though.
Sure. I'm just saying. So you only took one action. Are you going to move to the ramp to be as quick as possible, or are you going to use your action to find and retrieve your lightsaber?
I'm going to use my action to find and retrieve my lightsaber.
So you're not at the ramp yet because you're going to the backpack and you're retrieving that. That's your action this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Tanal.
Hi.
Oh God, I want to erupt in violence, but I think that my first and only move for this turn has to be...
You're going to do what you're going to do.
Okay.
The figure's in front of you. Your sister's clinging to you.
Uh-huh.
They've been mortally wounded.
Uh-huh.
Gila's already gone inside the bay. Two Pints already gone inside the bay. Vilra's still inside the bay. Tanal, blaster fire is heard echoing inside the bay.
Oh shit. Okay. I think that just my first and only move this turn has to be dragging my sister to safety and trying to close the bay doors. Keep everything that's outside, everything that's inside.
Okay.
Deal with it one at a time.
Okay. So you're gonna use your action to get to drag Ren into the maintenance, the very, very tight, narrow maintenance corridors.
Yeah.
It's only single file. Either you're going to go in first and you're going to drag in Ren after you, or you're going to push Ren in and you're going to be at the back, exposed to the outside. Which way is it going to be?
I'm pushing Ren in.
Pushing Ren in.
Uh-huh.
Ren, your action this turn?
Well, I was going to attempt to cover my sister with my body.
Nice fucking try. Nuh-uh. You get in there.
But it seems that that's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and I just kind of instinctually pull my blaster and blast the bounty hunter who cut my fucking arm off.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I already dropped the F-bomb. We should only do one of those a session.
You need to roll your blaster. How many actions did you declare, Ren? 1 or 2?
I was gonna take 2, but I guess my other one is kind of moot at this point. So I guess maybe only 1.
So just 1. So that means you're still going to be minus 2d because of your double wounded status.
It's probably for the best. Let's see. That is 16, thanks to 1 explosion.
Very good time for an explosion. I didn't declare how many actions for this one, but this one was going to do 2 actions. So they had already declared 2 actions for their turn. Now they're going to do a dodge reaction in response to your in response to your shot.
It's a point blank shot, right?
Yeah.
We
so
are
the
just
difficulty-
right there.
That's why, because the difficulty is only like very easy. It's like a 5, so there's no way you would miss really. So they have to do a dodge reaction, which means now they're adding a third action. So they're going to be minus 2d to all of their stuff, and they do not explode on that dodge.
I mean,
Roll
good.
Roll your damage, please.
Okay. Fortunately, mechanical things like a blaster pistol do not rely on how good my body is at the moment. 9. That's not super great, but
Okay.
it is what it is.
So same thing. They're wearing a bunch of plated armor, so good protection against physical with some additional energy protection, but it's not a full suit of body armor, head to toe. But they beat 9, and so again, the shot catches them square on as you're suddenly pushed into this very tight claustrophobic maintenance tunnel. But you still get the shot off, and the person snaps back from the impact of it, but their armor takes it.
Yeah. My idea was less to actually damage them and more to like ward them off, you know?
Okay.
So.
The one that was laying down on the top of the ring was only going to be taking 1 action. The one that was standing on top of the ring was going to take 2 actions. The one that's laying down on top of the ring says droid. The one standing up on top of the ring replies back, drop her. His first action is the one that's standing with his rifle is going to be to shoot a grenade in the direction of 2-Pint as 2-Pint scurries under the ship. 2-Pint, you have a choice. The difficulty on this shot is going to be at medium range, so it's going to be a difficulty 15 for the bounty hunter to shoot this grenade at you. You can rely on that difficulty number to see if they can do it with their blaster, or you can choose to react and do a dodge. You've already taken 1 action, which was your move, so your dodge will be at minus 1d.
Right. Let's see. I'll try and dodge.
Okay, so you're going to roll your dodge at minus 1d, remembering that your wild die is included in that. I'm rolling the grenade launcher on the rifle shot. It's going to be at minus 1d because they declared 2 actions this turn.
So, 13.
Okay. When they shoot a grenade, it's going to a specific location as opposed to a person. Rarely are they trying to shoot a person, they're just trying to hit a specific spot. But you dodge. What you essentially do, 2-Pint, is you scurry as this thunk, as the grenade launches off the bottom of the rifle. Gila seals this grenade, sail across the bay, dive under the ship as 2-Pint scurries under behind one of the landing gear, and the grenade explodes. But it doesn't explode with fragmentation, it doesn't explode with gas, it explodes with blue ionic energy as an ion grenade narrowly misses 2-Pint and scatters blue electricity all over the landing gear, and some of it like snakes through and like sparks at you, but doesn't connect and doesn't interfere with your systems. That's the first action for the bounty hunter standing. The first action for the bounty hunter laying down, who has a blaster rifle and was just instructed by the one standing. He said drop her, and the one that's laying down is going to take a shot at Gila, who's in the hangar, who just fired at their companion. They're using a blaster rifle. Gila, it's a more powerful weapon. It's got greater range. It's only short range across the bay to you from where they are on top of the ring, which means it is a easy shot, which means the difficulty is only 10. So you can rely on them only rolling more than 10, or you can dodge as a reaction to avoid this blaster shot.
Dodge is actually something I'm insanely good at, so I would like to dodge.
So you declared 2 actions this turn already, so you're minus 1d. Now you're adding in your reaction dodge, so you're going to be an extra minus 1d, so minus 2d. So roll your dodge, minus 2d, and they're going to roll their blaster shot. And they only declared the 1 action, so it was just a fire at you.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Make sure your
Okay, so
wild
minus
dice
2d. Gotcha. Math 13.
Okay. Remember, you can also add a character point to this. Sheila, are you happy with 13, or are you going to roll a character point?
I'm gonna use a character point. 17.
Sheila, the bounty hunter exploded.
That's very sexy of him.
I need
And
you
during
to roll
Pride
your,
Month, no less.
I need you to roll your strength, please, against the damage from this blaster.
Not my strength. I'm not built like that.
Yeah, do you get a bonus to that because of the piecemeal armor that we're both wearing?
So whatever she was wearing when Gila went out, right? So Gila, did you have piecemeal armor on over top of your technician's uniform?
I did not, because I was dressed as I was in
technician.
disguise. So I
Yeah.
as a technician.
Damn.
Good
No.
ass, but I didn't think she had it, so that's why I wanted to make sure.
That's a 10.
Okay. Okay. Damage versus strength. It's just a simple chart. The higher the roll of the damage roll over the strength determines it, going from stunned to wounded to incapacitated to mortally wounded, and there's, in Star Wars D6, an outright kill shot if your damage rolls 16 or higher against the strength roll of the person that is being hit by the damage. Based on the damage roll of the blaster rifle, based on what Gila's strength roll, I know exactly what has happened to Gila and what I'm going to describe, and what I'm going to describe that only 2 Pint sees, but I'm going to describe what Vilra feels, and you hear this, and of course this is what Tanal and Ren hear from inside the tunnel. 2 Pint, as you scurry behind the landing gear as the ion grenade explodes, as Gila has this blaster pistol pointed up in the air, an even louder blaster rifle shot rings out. It impacts Gila, spins her fast, and drops her to the permacrete of the hangar bay immediately. Vilra, you feel Gila's pain for an instantaneous moment, and then you don't feel anything. Now you
Can I take another action?
Life sense, so you can activate life sense as a power if you wish to specifically seek out Gila in this moment. But you just retrieved your lightsaber. That'll be next turn for you. But just letting you know as a reminder, you can start to bring those powers up and keep them up if you choose.
Okay.
That's the first action for everybody this turn. Anybody that has a second action. So Tanal, you had a second action this turn? Nope.
I just did one.
Ren didn't. 2 Pint didn't. Gila cannot take any further actions this turn for the moment, and Vilra didn't have it. So the bounty hunter that was on the roof that fired the grenade takes their second action, which was to move. They've got a synth line that they've got attached to their belt, and they just leap off of the top of the ring and they run down the wall, the synth line coiling out behind them, so that they can land safely on the ground to get down to the floor level of the hangar. That's their second action. The one on top of the ring that just shot Gila did not declare a second action, don't have it. The bounty hunter with the vibra sword declared their 2 actions. They haven't taken their first action. I forgot to come back to them, so they're going to take their first action now. And their first action is going to use the vibra sword against the nearest opponent they can, which is Tanal. Vibra swords are difficult weapons to use because it's a vibrating sword that adds extra dice to the damage. The difficulty is 15 as a base difficulty for them, so they have to roll their melee attack. They've declared 2 actions this turn, so they're going to be at -1d. They have to roll a 15 or higher to hit you, Tanal, unless you wish to roll your brawling parry, because you don't have a melee weapon in your hand at the moment, but you can still react and use your brawling parry instead of that 15 if you choose.
Oh God. I think I have to. I think I just have to try to not get hit because we have too many people down right now.
Roll your brawling parry against the melee attack of the bounty hunter.
Strength, right? Is that strength or dexterity? Do you know?
That's dexterity.
Okay.
It's hand-eye coordination is basically what brawling parry is.
No explosions, but no failures. Okay. 19.
There is a spark and shower of sparks as the sword cuts across the entrance to the maintenance shaft. Just as you two step inside, showering sparks. They miss with their first swing of the vibro sword. Now we're on to the second actions. The bounty hunter descends with the synth line, and this bounty hunter outside recognizes that you're now escaping and is going to take a second action. So your brawling parry that you just rolled, what was the number again?
The total was 19.
19. That affects all melee attacks this round for you. So there's now they're taking their second action, which is going to be another swing of the sword, and they have to beat 19 because you're defending yourself and using the cramped confines of the maintenance shaft as a perfect excuse to do that. And they swing again, jabbing it with the sword. It vibrates and shatters off the walls of the maintenance tunnel. Sparks go again, but it doesn't connect with you, doesn't hit.
Okay.
And Vilra, as you hear the sounds of blaster fire, as you feel the fear and pain of your friends as they are being attacked, and as somebody on the roof of the ring of the hangar bay is now firing a blaster rifle into the bay, loud, echoey, sure to draw attention, except at that same moment, there is a massive explosion in the background as the first of the demolition charges to take down the communications array goes off, and that explosion echoes across Somber, preventing this blaster fire from echoing at the same time. We're now to the top of the new round. Everybody's going to tell me how many actions you're declaring. You guys chose to go first, so you'll get to act first. But you need to tell me first how many actions you're taking, and please remember, because I'll get you to keep track for yourselves. So, and Barnaby, sorry for the moment, you don't get to declare any actions. Thank you for your patience.
I think I want to do 3.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. 1 action for Ren, 3 for Vilra. Tanal, 2. 2 pint? 2. Okay.
Okay.
The bounty hunter that descended on the synth line is going to declare 2 actions. The bounty hunter that is up on top of the ring laying down is only going to declare 1 action. And the bounty hunter outside with the fiber sword is going to declare 2 actions. We will start with 2 pint. 2 pint, you declare 2 actions. What's your first action?
So the first one I was going for is still up on the roof, correct?
Okay, so you're gonna move, but you're trying to move sneakily, right?
Yes, correct.
So you're gonna roll your sneak roll for me, but you're still minus 1d to this roll because you declared 2 actions this turn.
Yep.
And I will roll perception.
I exploded. That's a 13.
Okay. You'll find out if you get spotted or not when you emerge out of the, because you're basically gonna fly up to the. Are you gonna go up on top of the ship? Or are you gonna go up to the top of the ring on the far side?
I want to be behind them essentially.
So to be behind them, you would have to be over the wall of the ring and go all the way around the outside.
Okay.
Because there's no way to sneak across the open hangar because the bounty hunter's now down the ground. You have to basically go up and over the wall, and then that way the wall would obscure you, and then you could get behind them that way.
Then yes, that's what I would like.
So that's what you've done. So you've made your sneak and you're making them up there. That's totally fair. Cool. Ren, you declared 1 action. What's your 1 action, Ren?
Oh, I'm gonna blast that guy.
Okay. And they declared 2 actions, so they're gonna dodge, and they're at minus 2d as a reaction to this round.
Alright.
And remember, you're minus 2d as well, or the minus 3d, or 2d, because you're double moving still. Yeah.
Right. I'll spend a character point. Hold on. We're still at point blank, right? What's the difficulty to hit at point blank?
It's easy, it's 5, which is why they're dodging. So you have to beat their dodge.
Okay. Character point exploded. That's cool. Not a second time, though. 17.
You hit. Roll your damage with your blaster pistol.
Gotta roll a little bit higher, man. 11.
Okay. They exploded on their strength check. Another shot, point blank, hits them. It hits them right in the body. Black carbon scoring flashes across the chest plate, but doesn't slow them down. Tanal, your first action.
To fucking shoot
Ren
this
has
guy.
not declared movement. Ren has been firing their pistol.
Well-
They're going to force you to keep pushing them down the hall if you want to get farther away, or you can just leave them where they are and turn around. It's up to you.
I'm not leaving my sister. I can't. You've been here for
So
5 seconds and
so
you're ruining my day.
So if you need,
God.
to get to that, if you want to get inside the hangar, then you have to, at least one of your actions is going to be to keep moving. And as part of that movement,
Okay.
you're essentially grappling your sister and dragging her
Okay.
through the maintenance corridor to the hangar.
Yeah, I think that that's probably gonna be like my first action, which is just like we're going.
What that
I think
does is
that
gets
she's
you
yelling
distance
the
from
whole
bounty hunter.
time.
It's going to force the bounty
Yeah.
hunter to follow you inside now. So that's
Yeah.
okay. That's your first action.
Yeah, get away from the melee guy.
Vilra, you now have your lightsaber in hand. What's your first action this turn?
Okay, so I would like to use life sense
Okay.
on Gila.
Okay.
I can sense the presence and identity of a specific person.
Okay.
The user can sense how badly wounded, diseased, or otherwise physically disturbed the target is.
100%. So is it just a pure sense roll for that?
Yeah, it is considered very easy, modified by proximity and relationship.
Sure. So so very easy starts at like 3 to 5. We're gonna call this an easy roll because the proximity meaning that Gila's outside the ship, you're inside the ship. There's a slight distance there, but that's all we're talking about. We're gonna make the difficulty 7. So you're gonna roll your sense, and you're gonna beat a difficulty of 7 to determine Gila's status.
Okay. 10.
Okay. Gila's alive. Gila, for her status, is incapacitated.
Okay.
Gila missed mortally wounded by 1 on that roll.
Wow.
Okay, so they are like.
So Gila's now currently unconscious for 2D minutes, basically. This is what it is, but for the purposes of how long this is going to last, unless somebody gets to her and administers first aid to revive her, she's going to be incapacitated for this encounter
Okay.
because she got shot with a blaster rifle.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's my first action.
Okay, that's your
It's
first
just
action. That's everybody's first action for the bounty hunter with the vibra sword. He can't just attack you with his sword. He doesn't seem to be whether he has a blaster or is choosing to use it. He follows you inside the maintenance tunnel to close that distance and put you all into hand-to-hand combat range again. The bounty hunter that's on the hangar floor closes the distance towards the ship, takes a movement as their first action. They still have the rifle in hand. The second hunter on top doesn't have a target and is searching, and for the moment doesn't take a shot at 2-Pint as 2-Pint gets to the top of the wall. So 2-Pint may not have been noticed in their escape. First actions for everybody. Now we're on to second actions. We're going to come back to Ren. You don't have a second action. Tanal, you declared a second action?
I do have a second action. I am gonna have we made it to the hangar? Like, what's the?
If you move again next
How-
turn, you'll be into the hangar. So right now you're in the tunnel. You're like 2/3 of the way through essentially. But yes, because we're doing this in small movements. You can now this second action, Tanal. If you choose to make this a movement where you drag your sister through, you can get into the hangar, and that will be your second action this turn.
Okay, I think this guy is following us and is going to keep coming at us until I do something about it. So I am going to shoot him,
Okay.
with my big gun. Let's see. This is it -1d to this as well?
Because you
Or-
declared 2 actions, exactly right. -1
Okay.
your blaster shot, but it's point blank range. Because they
Okay.
moved to close the distance, so the difficulty's only 5. But they already rolled a dodge against Ren's shot, and it's the same dodge against yours now.
Perfect. Okay, well, that's still 4D because I'm crazy. So let's see what happens. No explosions, but also no complications, and I rolled really well. What is that? 12 plus 17. Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm not nuts. 21.
Roll your damage for your blaster pistol.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Oh my god, so many sixes. That is 18, 20, 22.
As the bounty hunter
Correct.
closes through the tunnel, Vibro sword held, at the horizontal so that they can do a slashing motion right into both of you as you come in, and they move with just a quickness and a skill. And as your sister fires a shot, and like the whole tunnel illuminates for a second before going dim again, and then as you just turn and pull your pistol point blank right as they are coming up to you just outside of the range of that blade, describe how you shoot down this bounty hunter.
Yeah, I think that Tanal, like, she's used to using these kinds of weapons, like, for hunting, where you camp out and you just wait for your shot to line itself up. And so I think that she waits for this bounty hunter to have, like, a hand over top, so they've, like, opened themselves up, and, like, in her mind's eye, a little, like, red practice target, like, appears over their heart, and she just kind of under her breath goes, "Gotcha," and bam! Blow them away.
Right under the chest plate, just missing the armor into the softer of just the simple bodysuit, and the figure just stumbles and then collapses in the tunnel.
Oof.
I think then turns back to Ren and is like, "What are you doing? Go!"
Vilry, you declared 2 actions?
One
declared-
big thumbs up.
I declared 3
3 actions.
actions.
So this is your second action, Vilry.
I did want to clarify. Do I think if I move, I would be within, let's say, melee range?
So no, if you move right now, it's going to get you out of the ship, and you're going to go to the base of the ramp, and now you'll be on the hangar floor. You'll be able to see where all these other people are, essentially, but you won't be in melee range just yet because the bounty hunter's moving towards the ship. You're emerging from the ship. There'd be one movement essentially between you.
Okay, so I'm only going to do the 2 Can I change it and only do 2
When
actions
you're
now?
clearing, you're kind of committing yourself to the number of things you want to do. That's the gamble with your multi-action penalty. How proficient do I feel? How capable do I think I am based on what I want to do? So you have to be reserve those actions and determine what you can get away with. Because and it makes sense. Vilra's hurrying. She's maybe a little panicked, a little frustrated. You're trying to do too many things at once, right?
Yeah, she's pretty upset. I would say at this point she's got anger tears streaming down her face. Runs out. So movement is this time. So I think, and also just wanting to find where Jila is, and to get in maybe a defensive position.
You're going to move to the base of the ramp. And you're going to see 2 things. You're going to see 3 things essentially. You do notice, because the person's moving and scanning with the rifle, you do see the figure laying on top of the rim of the hangar bay with a rifle, scanning sort of around the bay, not necessarily not expecting you to be there. And you see 2 figures. You see an armored bounty hunter with a blaster rifle doing a light jog, not rushed, not panicked, controlled, coming towards the ship. And you see the crumpled form of Jila lying on the hangar floor, and you don't see 2 Point anywhere, and you can hear the sound of blaster fire inside the maintenance tunnel.
Okay. I will assume that is Tanal.
So that's going to be your action to get to the base, and then your third action that you still have, you can declare afterwards.
Okay.
No
I want to say that I'm situated in front of Jila.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
they are on the
No one else
ground.
declared a
And
third action, Vilrus. So really, it is going to be you at this point for that third action. And you can hear the blaster fire in the tunnel. You can see Jila on the ground. You can see this bounty hunter coming towards you. You assume this person's probably the person that just shot Jila. Do you want to do something about that?
yeah. I want to get up in their business, like in their face. So I want to move again.
Now, if you move, that's your action, and you won't be able to attack this turn. If that's
Totally
what you're choosing
fine.
to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
'Cause
you're gonna close the distance, and you're gonna get right up to melee range with the bounty hunter.
I want my face in theirs.
Okay. And you just charge across the hangar floor to get right up in their face, and their rifle kind of starts to come up right as they see you coming. The rifle
Totally
starts to come
fine. And it is a powerful walk. She is not running. You can like anger tears streaming down her face, and it's just like a commanding walk towards this person, like lightsaber in hand. And if I can, as part of movement, nothing will happen. A strut, if you will, kind of puts like where the light comes, where the saber part comes out, kind of put it like push it against them.
But you haven't ignited it, correct?
No, I have not ignited it because I'm assuming that's an action.
It is. It's
right.
part of an attack, essentially. That's right.
It'd be part of an attack, so basically like kind of like shoving it like in their armpit kind of thing.
Okay. Top of the third round. How many actions are you declaring, Vilra?
I took a second action.
Oh, sorry, 2 point. You did. So you get to the top of the wall. You can see that hunter that's on the top staring down. You can't see the other one anymore. You can hear distant blaster fire coming from somewhere else in the hangar. You hear a massive explosion, and you, 2 point, can see the first column of smoke starting to rise up from the communications yard, where the first charge has detonated, causing a deafening boom, which for the moment is masking the sound of blaster fire in the hangar.
All right. So 2 Pint would like to get as close as possible to this person and get him with their tummy gun.
It's going to take you 2 movements to essentially hover the wall of the ring to get around to them. And so you already rolled your stealth for this turn, but now that on the new turn as we come up to it, you're going to roll sneak again because you're going to continue to see if they notice you, okay?
Got it.
So we're back up at the top of the round. How many actions is everybody declaring? Remember, this will affect your skill checks, your sneak checks. It'll affect your attacks. The only thing it doesn't affect is your strength rolls. 2 for Tanal, 1 for Vilra, 2 for 2 Pint, 2 for Ren. The bounty hunter on the hangar wall is going to declare 1 action. The bounty hunter on the hangar floor is going to declare 2 actions, and that's all that they have. We're going to start with 2 Pint. 2 Pint, I want you to roll your sneak as you start to circle the ring, because we need to see if this sniper on the wall sees you making your way.
Exploded again. Oh my god. Okay, and I got 6 on both dice, so that's 12, and then 12 plus 5.
Okay.
Whatever that is, 17?
So it's going to take you 1 action to move halfway there.
Okay.
And I rolled their perception, so when their turn comes up, we'll see if they notice you or not.
Okay.
Ren. Sorry, you got to wait, Ren, because you can't see anything else at the moment. Tanal, we'll go to you because you have to decide if you're going to push yourself and Ren into the hangar bay or if you're going to stay in the tunnel.
This person that I shot, they went down.
They went down in the tunnel.
Okay, cool. None of my business anymore. I am leaving Ren here.
Okay.
And say, just stay here. And I am gonna use my first action, I guess, to like get into the hangar.
Okay.
Try to
which you do,
assess.
Ren.
Okay.
You get into the hangar, which you see Vilra stalking across the hangar. Doesn't appear to have a blaster in hand, towards an armored figure that is meeting her in the middle of the hangar floor with a blaster rifle in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Roll your perception.
Okay. I'm not afraid at all.
You're minus 1d
It's
because you declared
fine.
2 actions this turn.
Oh, right. Okay, let me re-roll that. Sorry. Oh, I exploded though. Okay, that is 10 plus 13, 14.
You see the figure up on the roof with a blaster rifle pointed down into the hangar. So now there's 2 gunmen that you see. And Tanal at your feet as you emerge from the tunnel. You see Gila's unmoving form laying on the hangar floor. That's your first action. Ren, what's your first action?
I nod to Tanal, like, yeah, go. And then I am going to take that vibro sword is what I'm going to do.
Okay, you retrieve the vibro sword. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is
Partly because if the bounty hunter gets back up, I don't want him to have the vibro sword.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Does he have any other obvious things that I could just take from him?
You can use this action this round to do a cursory search for anything that's on the outside belt, anything that's obviously visible.
Yeah.
And yeah, there'll be a couple of other things you can find on there.
Okay. That's me.
2 Pint moved. Tanal moved inside. Ren's searching the figure. Vilra, you close the distance to this bounty hunter. Vilra, Gila is laying on the floor. Blaster fire. You don't know where 2 Pint's gone. There's a second gunman up on the roof that you know is there. They're attacking your friends. They've hurt your friends. You want to do something about that?
Yes. I would like to, as I said, I have put this against him. And I would like to say that it was like in the armpit area.
So you
to
want
kind
to,
of like
you're going to use this lightsaber and you're going to try and kill this man in front of you?
I am, yes. And like I said, tears stream, like she's looking where, because he has like a face mask on, right?
Yes.
She's going to look at where she assumes the eyes are.
Yes.
And is so upset in so many different directions.
Okay.
Her friends are the only thing that matter to her.
Okay.
And they've tried to take that.
Yes, they have. Vilra, May needs to make a decision right now, May. If you wish, I will give you a force point that you can use right now in this attack. If you take that force point, you have to spend it this round, and it will double your dice pool for everything you're about to do. May, if you accept this force point, Vilra will gain a dark side point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay? No hesitation. You have a force point to spend. Double your dice pool. You're still minus 1d because you declared 2 actions this turn. You already moved.
No, I declared 1 action. I'd already moved.
Because you already declared. You did. Thank you for correcting me. So, double your dice pool and then tell me the sequence of things that happen.
Okay, so am I rolling my lightsaber skill?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're gonna roll their brawling. They're gonna use their melee parry because they've got a rifle in their hand. They're gonna try and resist that with melee parry.
They can freaking try. So my wild dice exploded. So I'm gonna do some math for a second because this is for those watching. I have 3d plus 1, so if I'm doubling that, I'm doing 6d plus 1.
60 plus 2.
Plus 2. Oh my gosh, I'm so
double.
sorry. Thank you. So that is 26 total. Also, I'd like to be using the yellow lightsaber side, not the red one. Let me go ahead and mark that dark side point.
So, the bounty hunter rolled the brawling parry, or melee parry to try and parry that. Their wild die exploded. And what did you roll total?
26.
Which beats their 20.
You don't mess. These are my best friends. They're the only people I have left in this world, and you try to take them from me? I don't think so. And I think she yells when this happens. Like,
roll your lightsaber damage, which is 5d.
And that does not have a wild die, right?
It does have a wild die.
It does have a
all
wild die.
damage has a wild die.
So that's 15.
Okay, which beats their roll of 13. So they are, so it's only by 2. So they are stunned. So you get in, but they're obviously not standing still, and the blade ignites, and it just skips across the back of their armor plate as they twist out of the way at the last second, trying to avoid. So now this bounty hunter is stunned, which means they're minus 1d to their rolls next turn. Going forward this turn, for anything that they still haven't done, in addition to for one turn next turn. You just about impale him, but he's trained and he's active and he's ready and he sees it coming, but he certainly wasn't expecting a lightsaber. That was your one action this turn.
One action.
First action for the bounty hunters. The bounty hunter standing in front of Vilra as a lightsaber just about impales them, yells out, "Drop her," which we will go to the sniper on the wall, who only declared one action. The sniper on the wall, who did not see Two Pints approach and has not picked up on the maintenance droid on their way, and instead is going to take a shot with their blaster rifle at Vilra. Vilra, the difficulty for them, because it's a blaster rifle and you've already crossed halfway across the floor, is an easy difficulty. It's only difficulty at 10. So are you going to do a dodge reaction to avoid this blaster shot?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a dodge
So you're
reaction.
gonna roll your dodge. You still have a force point this turn, so your dice pool's still doubled, but you have to minus 1d because it's now your second action this turn. Okay.
Okay,
So double
and that's
your
just my
pool.
dex if I don't have dodge.
If you don't have dodge, it's just your dex.
Okay. $21.
A blaster rifle shot smacks the hangar floor, sending up chips of permacrete right next to Vilra, and just misses as you are jostling with this bounty hunter. That leaves the bounty hunter in front of you, who's going to take their first shot. And you rolled a 21. You said in your dodge.
I rolled a 21.
Perfect. So that's gonna still be the same dodge roll against their blaster rifle shot, which they're gonna do at point blank range, which should only be a difficulty of 5 because it's very easy. So they have to beat a 21 now. Bounty hunter's gonna roll.
But he's at a minus because
He's minus 1d because he declared 2 actions, plus he's minus 1d for stun, so he's minus 2d actually now. Shoulders the rifle, fires it at point blank range right past you, and it just goes over your shoulder and just misses your head. Tanal, you see Vilra just about get shot twice with blaster rifles. As that rifle shot goes off, and as a second explosion from the communications yard reverberates out across the settlement, the huge booming echo. At 2 Point, you can see more smoke starting to rise up as the second demolition charge happens, as this all happens in a matter of seconds. That's the first actions for everybody. Second actions for everybody, starting with our crew. Vilra, you didn't have a second action. 2 Point, you did have a second action. You're going to close the distance, which is what you do right now. Ren, did you have a second action? No, just the one action to loot the bounty hunter. Tanal, you have
actually, I think I did have
I
two
thought you did
actions.
too. Yeah, I think pretty
And
sure
my
you did.
second one was to head into the
So
hangar.
you're moving, which will put you next to your sister at
Right.
your feet stand near the prone body of Gila, who lays on the hangar floor. Tanal, your second action.
Will it take an action to get to Gila?
No, she's right in front of you.
Okay.
She's right at your feet because she stepped out of the maintenance tunnel, pulled her pistol and fired, and then was
Right.
dropped
Okay.
right where she
So
stood.
they're still right there. Okay. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, I feel super normal and regular.
As Vilra fights 2 bounty hunters with blaster fire with a lightsaber that she could barely control when she was standing in Dale's shop, and now you've got Gila's unmoving form at your feet.
Am I allowed to speak? Can I say something? I mean, can I yell, "They're alive"?
You could yell she's alive because you know that.
Yeah,
Tanal
to
has entered
Tanal.
the hangar.
Yeah.
Okay. I think like relief floods Tanal's face at that, and it is followed by just determination and rage. And I think that as she shoulders her fancy new rifle,
Now, just remind
like-
me though, because you went to the depot, you didn't have the rifle with you. Where was the rifle when you came back from the depot? When you came back from seeing Sledge at the cantina?
oh God,
I don't think you had it on you, right? You may
I
have
don't
had
think
a
I had it
pistol.
on me.
Yeah, I think you would've
No,
had a
you're
pistol.
right.
Doesn't Gila have the rifle?
I think the rifle was still in the hangar, unless Gila was carrying it on her back.
I think Gila was carrying the
No,
rifle.
because Gila came back with you. Gila doesn't have it. Gila was coming back with Ren from picking you up at the
That's
yard.
okay.
The
I'll
rifle,
do.
I think, was left probably on the ship for safekeeping.
I'll use
Okay.
my blaster. That's fine. But yeah, just getting into a very like defensive stance, like one like over Gila's unconscious body. I think I'll line up a shot for the person who's attacking Vilra on the ground right now, and I will take a shot at them.
So this is your second action, so you're minus
Second
1d.
action.
Do
Okay.
you wish to consider this a dramatically appropriate moment and use a force point?
Yeah, I
Second
want this
phone
guy
call?
done. I want them done.
So before
In
you
the
roll, if
dirt.
you want to declare a force point, you can't add any character points to it, but you can declare a force point. Double your pool for all your dice, so this will be doubling your blaster. And then you're minus 1d because it's your second action.
Yeah, I mean, can I do that on? Can you do that on damage or only when you're trying to hit?
It's on everything. So it affects
Oh,
all
okay.
your rolls.
Cool. Then yeah, absolutely. I think that yeah, and having still with that conversation in her mind where she was like, Vilra, are you sure that you're like ready to use this weapon? And thinking like, I think that she's gonna regret this in the morning. Just wants to eliminate this person as a threat as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So I will absolutely do that.
Okay.
So that
Double your
is-
pool, subtract 1d,
Oh
and
my god, I need more.
take your shot. And they're gonna react as a
Okay.
dodge because it's short range for the blaster pistol in the hangar now,
Mhm.
so it's an easy difficulty of only 10 if you hit the person who's dodging. They don't want to
Okay.
get shot at that short range, so they're minus 1d for their interaction, they're minus 1d for
Okay.
being stunned. Now they're adding a dodge, so that's 3 actions that are minus 2d
Okay.
to this dodge roll.
I'm rolling 7D right now. So just to get a little ASMR in there. We're gonna, give it a little shake. Great. No explosions, but no complications either. That is 12, 15, 20, 22 plus... 1 second. Do I double my, Oh, I don't have any pips on this anyway. Okay, 22 to hit.
You hit, roll your damage for
Okay.
the blaster pistol.
And are the damage also...
Now the force
damage go
doesn't
crazy?
double. Sorry, the force won't
Okay.
double. Force doubles your damage when your physical body, but it doesn't double damage mechanical things. So
Oh,
blasters still
okay.
roll their damage. That's the difference.
Okay.
So if you punch somebody with a force point, your strength is double for dealing damage. But if you're shooting
Oh,
with a force
okay,
point,
okay.
The blaster
Okay.
pistol damage is its own. So go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
And they are stunned, so they're going to be
Understood.
1 off their strength for this.
Okay. Again, no explosions, but no complications. I can't do math all of a sudden. 9. That's a 12.
The bounty hunter exploded twice on his strength roll. You shoot them across the hangar, hit them dead on as they're desperately trying to avoid getting stabbed. As blaster rifle fire, they're firing back at Vilra, and then they see this figure emerge because this is not their first time doing this. And just a quick head bob as your blaster shot goes right past, or as it hits, sorry, but it just hits the shoulder and sparks off with the shot. They're tough, they're fast, they're strong, they're still fighting. That was your first action, Tanal. Your second action.
That was my second action.
Second action.
Yeah.
No one else on the group has a second action, right? So it's just the second action for the bounty hunters, which only the one on the floor had declared a second action. And
Did I use my second action to move closer again?
you've closed the distance. 2
Okay.
point. You wanted to get behind the sniper, which is exactly what you've done.
Okay,
So
perfect.
you're right there with them right now.
Got it.
He's gonna do a bit of a Hail Mary. He's gonna grasp a grenade on his bandolier, pull it, snap it, and drop it right at his feet, right next to him and Vilra. Vilra, you can dodge this as a reaction. So you'll be minus 1d for the dodge because this will be your second action this turn.
Actually, and I'm going to be fair, this is my third action because I dodged last time too.
Okay, sorry, yes, you did. So this is your third action. So you're minus 2d now for the. No, this is still the same round from the shot. So you're 21, right?
Yes, I was 21.
It still applies because this is also
Okay.
the same round. So he's just gonna drop it with his grenade roll. He does explode, but not enough to catch Vilver. So Vilver kind of turtles, and he kind of like just off the bandolier, pull, snap, pin, toss, and just kind of flicks it with his wrist because he wants to land it right behind Vilver, which he does. But she turtles as he turtles, and it explodes. But you get away from the radius of it so that it doesn't catch you. But it just sends debris and things shattering, and Ren and Tanal, you can hear the grenade bits landing at your feet as it flies across the hangar. How Vilra didn't get torn apart by that, you'll never know. But it obviously exploded in the air, and she ducked down, and it just sent bits of metal ringing off the hull of the ship and everywhere else. That was their second action. We're back up to the top of the next round. Everybody's going to declare how many actions they're taking this turn. 2 actions for Ren, 2 actions for Tanal, Vilra, 1 action for Vilra, 2 pint, 1 action for 2 pint. Okay, the sniper on the wall is going to declare 2 actions. The bounty hunter on the floor is going to declare 1 action because he's already stunned. Two pint. Let's deal with you first on the sniper. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna shoot him with my tummy gun.
So with your stun blast,
Yes.
you're going to roll that. And if it defaults to dexterity because you probably haven't spent any points into it as a specialty weapon yet.
Correct.
They will do a reaction, so they're already minus 1d because they declare 2 actions. Now they're going to be minus 2d on their dodge because they're going to try and roll out of the way of that as this droid suddenly.
Boo! Shoot him. Okay, so that's 15.
The bounty hunter explodes on their dodge 2 pint, and they roll a 16.
No!
Amazing. Stun blast goes off and just like sparks all over the top of the hangar ring as they literally just roll desperately off to the side, just avoiding that stun blast as it comes out.
All right. Well, at least it's engaged with me now, not y'all.
Ren, your action.
Well, I was going to hand Tanal this vibra sword, but
Ren, one of the things that you retrieved off of the body of the bounty hunter is a med pack.
Oh, good. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag Gila onto the ship.
Okay. So that's going to be a movement action essentially to do that as you're getting on. With your one good arm.
Yeah.
Your only good arm.
My arm. Yeah.
Tanal, your action?
I'm blasting this guy again.
Okay. So he's
We're
minus
gonna
1d for
try.
being stunned this round, which
Yep.
ends at this round. He's minus 1d because he already declared. Or so he's only minus. And now he's minus 1d because he already declared an action. So he's minus 2d to his dodge.
Yep.
Which he's dodging.
I exploded.
There's a lot of exploding d6s in this combat.
I rolled like crap for the rest of them. So that is only a 12 to hit.
No, he rolled like crap too, so you still hit him. So go ahead and roll
Nice.
the damage.
Hell yeah. Do it. I rolled like crap for me damage. I hope you rolled like crap. What is that? 5, 8.
And he also rolled an 8. So all that means is it's a wash, which means he is stunned again. So the minus 1d will persist for one more round. Another glancing shot. He's moving fast. Him and Vilra keep circling around. You have to hold that shot to make sure Vilra's not going to be away. A grenade goes off, and then you see an opening, you take it, but it's just another glancing shot off of it. Vilra, your action this turn.
I would like to hit this man with my lightsaber, please.
Okay,
I'd also like to use another force point.
you can. Are you
will.
pretty angry, Vilra? Pretty upset?
Very, very upset.
So Vilra, if you use the force point, you get it. This is your own that you're spending, not the one I gave you. You will take another dark side point for using the force in anger as you do this.
Okay.
Okay.
I think this is...
Now, this is May's decision, not Vilra's. May, do you remember how dark side points work?
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
For the crew, for everyone watching, May, remind us what happens when you get a dark side point.
You lose a little bit of yourself, and you have to work really hard to get rid of it, or else you completely fall to the dark side. And it's sort of...
Is there a mechanical effect that happens? May, do you remember what that is?
I don't remember the mechanical
Okay,
effect
I'll tell you and I'll tell everybody
Okay.
else. This can affect everybody. Anybody that uses a force point, whether they're trained in the force or not, in anger, in fear, as a negative emotion to hurt somebody, not to defend yourself. If you're defending yourself, that's one thing. You didn't initiate it. But if you're using it in a hurtful way, somebody who's unarmed, somebody who's defenseless, or in a way that's not necessary to finish the fight, or if you use a force point in anger when you are a force-sensitive person, even if you are defending yourself, there's a higher standard there. There's a higher risk there with your emotions and what the force can do to you. You can use the force point, but you get a dark side point. May accepted the dark side point I gave her already to get that free force point because the dark side is quicker and easier, as we know. Now they're spending another force point and they're going to accept a second dark side point because Vilra, the character, is still acting out of anger and fear and wants to kill this man. Doesn't want to just perform a task as efficiently as possible. She wants to kill him because he has hurt her friends. At the end of a session, after you've received dark side points, you roll a single d6, and if the number on that d6 rolls under the number of force points you have, you fall to the dark side. In first edition Star Wars the role-playing game, that was a permanent loss of character because they wrote the game with a very heroic bent. You were heroes, and if you turned to the dark side, your character was lost and became an NPC that could come against the encounter later. In second edition, as modern sensibilities and as a more nuanced approach to writing came in, you fall to the dark side, but you can atone, as May alluded. There's a process to come back from that, but it fundamentally will change that character. If Vilra takes the second dark side point, and at the end of the session we roll a dice and she rolls a 1, it's going to fundamentally alter what happens to Vilra next session and anything that follows. But we'll get to that later, because right now Vilra wants to kill somebody and she's got a lightsaber in her hand and she's going to try and do it. Spend the force point, double your dice pool. Remember to subtract any multi-action penalty for this round so far that you had.
No.
Yep.
No,
and I'm going to
no
roll their melee parry one more time as a reaction. They're still stunned, so they're minus 1d for that. And it's now their second action, so they're minus 1d for that.
No explosions, but no complications. To a 20 exactly.
You hit with the lightsaber. Roll your damage.
Okay, and that
Damage
we just said was 5.
Is doubled because this is your physical. You're still physically using your body with the lightsaber, so you do double the damage on the lightsaber.
Oh, okay. And lightsaber is.
Right, I know it does for melee, so I'm pretty sure it does with lightsaber as well.
Sorry, I'm having trouble finding the stats again. Because if so, that's. Okay, so that's 10d?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh.
For him, not for me.
Almost certain that's right.
Here's some dice. So I didn't do double the damage last time. So.
Okay, then I may have missed that, and I apologize if that was the case. But go ahead and continue on, and I'm just double checking to make sure, because I know it doesn't affect technology, it doesn't affect weapons, but I'm fairly certain it affects melee attacks. Okay, it's not doubled. I apologize, May.
Okay.
Anything that's not part of the character, including weapon damage codes, are not doubled. So if it was your strength with a melee attack, it would be doubled. But a lightsaber is a device which has its own damage. Of course, strength is not the primary factor in determining its damage. So just roll your 5d. I apologize.
I was gonna say that was about to be 37 damage.
Yeah,
on
no,
that man.
I didn't sound right in my head, so I had to double check it, and I was wrong. So re-roll the 5d.
$21.
Okay.
Please tell me he rolled a 1 on his wild die. If I'm gonna earn a dark side point, I at least want to earn it like
Okay.
the fun way.
You hit him, and he cries out, and he drops. If you want to check his status using your life sense, that's an action that you can do next turn if that's important to you. But right now you don't know if he's dead or just dropped.
Okay. Yeah, no. For now, it's just a... Also, he also gave her a really cool backdrop. There was an explosion right behind her. And then... So I just want that visual for everyone
That's
to know
fair.
that she
That's fair.
had... Yeah.
And so that leaves the first action now for the remaining bounty hunter up on the wall, who was very inclined to want to shoot the person holding a lightsaber in the hangar floor, but instead has a droid in front of them that just attempted to stun blast them, and so now they're going to take a shot at 2-point. And there's no ion grenade coming your way. This is a blaster rifle at point blank range 2-point, which means the difficulty is only 5. So if you don't want them to rely on just getting at less than 5, you need to roll your dodge as a reaction, and that dodge will be at minus 1d because you've already taken your attack action this turn.
That's okay. I have 4D in dodge, so 3D should be pretty good. Yeah, okay. So that's a 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So not as good,
Not as good. Do you want to add a character point to that before we determine if it's successful?
Yeah, that's a good plan. I exploded on my character point. So that's a 7 plus 6 is 13. Wow. Plus 5. 18?
19.
19.
That's really good because I rolled a 14, which would have hit you, and if you hadn't exploded on that wild die, it would have hit you still. So a blaster rifle shot right past your servos as at point blank range, and all you can hear blaster fire on the ring as the sniper is now shooting at 2-point, which you can just barely see them bobbing up and down on the ring because he's still laying down and rolling around, and 2-point is hovering and flying around. Chaos everywhere as Vilra hits the bounty hunter. The bounty hunter drops. That is the end of that round. There's no other second actions for the bounty hunters. Any second actions for any of you? I don't think. I think that was second action. I think it was second action. So Tanal has another action. Okay.
I have another thing to do, but go with Tanal first.
Okay.
I'm blasting, baby.
So
The guy on the up top.
Okay. So it's long range for the blaster pistol.
Okay.
So the difficulty is 16, and he's already rolled a dodge against 2-point's stun blast, so that dodge still stands for this round. So roll your blaster pistol, minus 1d for your extra action if you took a second.
Mm-hmm. No explosions, no complications. 10. I'd like to use a character point.
Okay.
Come on, baby. Yeah, okay, cool. That's 17.
17 will hit. Roll your damage for the blaster pistol.
Okay, let me mark off this character point so I'm not cheating. Okay. No explosions, no I rolled bad on the damage! Why am I rolling bad on damage? That's a 10.
And they got a 13. So no effect, and so just a glancing shot off the top of the hangar. Just again off their shoulders. They're rolling past. You can just see their head and shoulders and the torso. That's the second action. That's it for this round. We're on to a new round. How many actions is everybody declaring?
Did I get to take my second action?
Ren has a second action. Finish up, Ren, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I dragged Gila onto the ship.
Yes.
So we're basically out of the line of fire at this
Yes.
point. How difficult would it be to use that med pack on Gila?
You're minus 2d to do it, and the difficulty is moderate, so it can be anywhere from 11 to 15. So if you say it's kind of a 13 difficulty, you'd have to get a 13 on your first aid at minus 2d because of your wounded twice status.
Ugh. That seems unlikely. How difficult would it be to use on myself?
Even harder. The difficulty
Right.
goes up by one category because you're using it on yourself. So
All right, well, I'm going to head back down the ramp then. I leave Gila there,
yeah, so she's up on
where
the
it's
ship.
safe.
Yep.
I leave the vibro sword there,
Okay.
and I head back down the ramp.
Okay.
I only have one hand, so I was carrying the vibro sword in the one hand, and I had Gila, like, under my arm, and I was like,
Yep. Yep.
Okay, then I head that back down the ramp. Okay.
Top of the new round. One bounty hunter still standing, laying down at this point, but still fighting. How many actions is everybody declaring? 2 for 2 point, 1 for Tanal, 1 for Ren, 2 for Vilra. Okay. They're going to declare 2 actions. 2 point, you're up top. Let's start with you.
I would like to try and shoot him again.
Okay. And they declare 2 actions, so they're minus 1d, and now they're going to do a reaction dodge again. So they'll be another second d off. And they're going to roll the reaction dodge because they don't want to take that stun blast.
And I'm rolling my dexterity, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. And I declared 2, so I'm down 1d. Okay.
Yes.
I know you've exploded a lot, but if you could do it again, I'd be greatly appreciative. Nope. That is a 10.
10 will hit because they rolled
Yes!
a 1 on their wild die. Rolled really low for their dodge. So roll your stun damage, and I will roll their strength resist.
That's 4d, and I don't have to reduce, right?
No, this is
It's
just
just
damage.
straight
it's
up.
not affected by multi-action penalty. You got it.
Okay, and this is 2 points first time using a weapon. This is very exciting. Does my wild die count?
Yes, you still include your wild die, 100%.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, didn't explode. That's a-okay though, so that's 5, 15, 19 damage.
You hit him with the stun blast, and he convulses and shakes, and then rolls over to the side. A little bit of smoke drifting up off of his body, and he stops moving.
Yes.
And
Amazing.
go ahead.
That's it.
Okay.
I was gonna go into my second action, but that's not yet. So never mind.
Tanal, your first action.
Are all of the like all of our adversaries down, right?
Seems to be for the moment, yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling fine and normal and regular about this. Can I very quickly do some kind of check to see if one of those like droids that was spying on us earlier is anywhere around? Love if I could do like
Roll
some
your
kind of
perception.
perception check. Because I feel like they didn't come here without one, and I want to see them.
Roll your perception.
Okay, and I'm gonna just use another character point so I don't have to subtract the 1 because my perception is not the best. But I really want this really bad. Please. Oh, I exploded! Okay. That's 12, 15, plus 18, 19.
And as you see a small black lensed probe drift up from behind the hull of the ship where it had kind of been like circling and hiding around, and as it comes up into view, you have a clear line of sight at it.
Like, well, I know what I'm doing for mine.
So that was just a perception. If you want to take a shot at it
Yeah.
as your action this
Oh!
turn, you can
Oh
do
my
that.
god! Yeah, absolutely, please. Can I...
So yeah, so still multi-action penalty will apply, and it's
Okay.
medium
fine.
range. The difficulty is
Okay.
is going to be 15 if it doesn't
Okay.
dodge, and it's not going to dodge because it doesn't think that anybody is going to be paying attention to it. So you have to get a 15 or higher on your blaster
Okay.
with the multi-action penalty.
I exploded again. That is
The force is with us today.
15. Another explosion. What is that? That's 21, 23
Roll your
to hit.
damage.
Yeah, but which side of the force is with us today?
Look, right now I'm
Listen.
just happy it's here. Okay.
Sides. Who needs sides? Light, dark. I don't really care, man. I just want to get out of here. Okay. That is 19 points of damage.
The
19.
probe just explodes, shower of parts. The moment
Now
it
I can hit.
explodes, another third explosion goes off as another of the demolition charges echoes across Somber, bringing down the communications array, and Two Pint can hear it. Not that they can see it because they're certainly not focused in that direction, but there's almost that groaning, creaking of metal as the tower's starting to topple as the rest of the charges are going off to bring it down. Anybody else taking an action? Vilra?
At this point, Vilra is going to be running towards Gila.
Which you, over the corner of your eye, saw that Ren pulled her up into the ship, so you bolt for the ship, and that's your action, that's your move.
Yep, that's my action.
That's everybody's first actions. The bounty hunters take no actions.
Ren still needs to do
Ren needs to take an
her
action.
action.
Go ahead.
So Ren was limping back down the ramp, and I got the blaster pistol out again, and I look at Vilra, and Ren is having this flashback to the last time that she saw a lightsaber wielder fighting people with guns, and Ren is like, the blaster pistol shaking in her hand. She's like terrified.
Do you shut down the lightsaber, Vilra, as you run back to the ship?
Oh, yeah. If that, I mean, it maybe even drops it on the ground. Like, it's not a priority anymore.
That's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Gila is her priority.
Okay, and Ren is like staring at Vilra in this very intense, very like, you got to stop way. And but when the lightsaber shuts down, she kind of relaxes a little bit. Okay, that's it.
And as we cut away for a moment, as Vilra slashed out with the lightsaber, drawing on all of her fear and anger and passion, as explosions were ringing out over the settlement from the communications array being demoed, and down on the beach, a 2-1B medical droid tending to some of the local fishermen who got sick from eating poisoned fish, as Grease is there with them doing first aid, which is why Silver had a remote transmission when Tanal checked in to find out where Sledge was, because Silver wasn't in the infirmary. And as Grease and Silver are tending to the sick fishermen, Dale is there with them, helping, organizing, figuring everything out, and his head snaps up suddenly, and he looks off in the distance, and he just immediately drops what he's carrying and starts to run. And as he looks over his shoulder, he yells out, "Grease! Hangar! Bring the droid!" And Dale runs for the hangar. We're back to the hangar. For the moment, no one's shooting at you. There are 3 dropped bounty hunters. You don't know what status they're at. Vilra's on the ship with Gila, and the rest of you are on the hangar floor or the hangar wall, as you would be, as a 4th explosion rings out as the demolition crew continues to demolish the communications array. We're not in rounds. You can just tell me what you're doing.
I want to push this guy off the roof just to make sure he's dead.
Okay.
Okay, and it's okay. And so 2 Point doesn't get dark side points for this.
So 2 Pint. So Mara.
Droids are immune to the dark side.
So Mara, droids can still have dark side points, even though
Ah.
droids can't be force sensitive. Dark side points, just as a droid can spend a force point, can still, use the force. Theoretically speaking, in the sense that you have a heroic moment. droids can become corrupted.
Mm.
It's still a thing that can happen. Droids can still have dark side points. You can absolutely finish this bounty hunter off because this bounty hunter is unconscious, not dead, because you used a stun blast on him. But he's an absolute threat, and he just about shot Vilra twice. If you want to finish him off, you can use your hook, drop him on his head from up on the top of the wall. It's going to kill him, and 2 Pint is going to get a dark side point, and that is a decision that Mara has to make.
I think 2 Pint is gonna still do it. You can't resist in half measures.
Okay. The bounty hunter in the maintenance tunnel is dead. Tunnel shot them point blank and absolutely killed them dead. Ren knows that because Ren quickly searched their body for one round, gathering some of their gear. 2 Pint kills the second bounty hunter by dropping them off the hangar. Do you drop them inside the hangar or outside the hangar? 2 Pint?
Inside. Because we don't.
The droid scoop up one of the bounty hunters with the hook, snap the hook open, and this body hits the floor and crumples into a very bad shape. But there's a third bounty hunter laying on the hangar floor.
Can I medpack Jila?
In a moment, yes.
Okay.
I think Tanal's in a moment where she's like, if I stop moving, I will never start again. And so she goes over to this third bounty hunter, check to see if they're alive.
They're alive. They're essentially incapacitated, so they're unconscious.
Cool. I'm taking all of the weapons that I can see off of them and just kicking them across the hangar door. I am looking to see if they have binders, and if they do, I am handcuffing them.
They do have binders, and you absolutely can restrain them, and you can
absolutely cuffing them to like up, to like a pipe on the side of the wall,
Sure.
And then I'm just going to leave them and run back to the ship.
Now that the adrenaline has passed, Ren is just gonna climb back onto the ship and sag down into one of the seats and just lie there attempting to put pressure on this bleeding wound.
Vilra, roll your first aid.
Okay. Can I have taken the med pack from Ren?
Oh yeah, I can't stop you, even if I...
Yeah.
There's no way. Even if I wanted to.
If she had just clipped it on her belt, you would have seen it there. You could have snatched it on the way by.
Yeah.
Ren is gonna give Vilra that very intense stare,
roll
though.
Your perception, Vilra, but roll your perception. This is gonna be a difficult roll because you're running to Jila. You know Jila is down, so this will be difficult for you to notice anything other than Jila at this point. But as you run past Ren, snap off the med pack. Roll your perception.
$15.
Ren's expression as you go by is one of not the face of a friend. Ren is still wearing an Imperial officer's uniform. Do you consider Ren to be a threat at this point?
Not at all. Okay. Ren has, I think Vilra's mind is just, even her perception, I would say, is off because, like I said, I feel like her anger tears have now turned into like frightful tears and like she's scared of herself and what just happened.
Okay.
So, and it's more focused on Jila than anything else.
Okay. Roll your first aid.
Okay. It's a 12.
Okay. I am almost certain that is enough to do it. I think incapacitated is a moderate difficulty. Sorry, let's just pull this up real fast.
Ooh, I have it up. It is.
Yes,
it's
thank
11
you.
to 15.
Okay. Yeah,
yep.
Thank you. I was almost certain it was, but thank you for confirming. Okay, so you improve Jila's wound status from incapacitated to wounded twice. Jila regains consciousness. Gila is wounded twice. Gila is minus 2d to any rolls or actions they try and take until they are healed again. But Gila's conscious and in a lot of pain because Gila just got shot with a blaster rifle. And Gila can describe how that feels and what others can see of the injury on her body.
I don't think it is a fatal wound. I think it is the most painful wound you can get, which is straight through the stomach. It looks a lot worse than it is, but it's still pretty bad. So there's just like this pool of blood. The entire front end of the uniform is just soaked in blood. It's just sort of tears running down Gila's face because Gila's never been shot before. She's been hit, she's been cut, but she's never been shot before. So there's a mix of like horror for her of like seeing just so much blood and that it hurts a lot. She isn't really saying anything so much as just like applying pressure to the wound, and just sort of like quietly sobbing, and she kind of looks around with all of a sudden being conscious, looking to make sure that everybody is there.
You can't see anybody other than Vilra because you're on the ship right now. You don't know where anybody is.
I'm there.
Now Ren's there.
Yeah, Ren is sitting in on the
Right,
to the
he's
side,
sitting in the chair,
holding the
stump.
bleeding stump of her arm.
Yeah, I
And
think
She was looking like her eyes were like flicking between this blaster pistol and also Vilra, and then the pistol, and then Gila wakes up, and Ren kind of like focuses on Gila instead.
The moment they see you, they immediately think, "Where's Tanal?" and like tries to like crawl forward to like look to see if they can see where Tanal is.
Oh, Vilra will stop you, but will yell for Tanal. Be like, "They're awake. You're okay. You're okay. You're gonna be okay."
And as Vilra feels relief, and as Ren slumps in exhaustion and pain, and as Two Pint stares down at the crumpled form of the bounty hunter a couple of meters below them, and as Tanal clasps the binders to the wall and then hears Vilra's voice saying that she's okay, and that wave of relief washing over, and as Gila catches their breath, we hope everyone watching can catch your breath too as we welcome you to Quadrilateral Frostfall, a Star Wars actual play. And after that, we're going to catch our breath and take a break, and we'll see you shortly. And welcome to Dungeon Scrawlers, your home for adventures told by some of your favorite authors and storytellers. Before we introduce everybody, I have two great sponsors I want to tell you about. Both make dice. Both are awesome in different ways. In a realm where most warriors use plastic light weapons, Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you use them, you are skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. Norse Foundry offers other cool gaming accessories, and you can find their store and more about them at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use recycled materials for all their dice. They're always designing and testing multiple types of recycled materials for enjoyment, raising dice from the ashes and onwards to epic adventures. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com. We welcome you to Quadrilateral Frostfall, a Star Wars actual play using Star Wars the Role-Playing Game 2nd Edition, revised and expanded, as originally published by West End Games. I am your Game Master, Jason Collins. I'm an actual play streamer, freelance tabletop role-playing game designer, and a freelance comic book writer. You can find my work and links to the first chapter of Quadrilateral on my link tree at digital_Collins and on the Dungeon Scrawlers Twitch and YouTube channels.
Hi, everybody. My name is Barnaby. You can find me at _Barnaby. And starting probably whenever this episode comes out, I'll now be a regular player on Imagination Arcade, where I play Scheherazade on Marvel Multiverse.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mara. You can find me on the internet at College of Lore Dropout or just Lore Dropout. You can figure it out. And also over on Starlight Tales, a queer and trans-led actual play set in space. It's all sci-fi, it's all gay, it's all great.
Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me at Sapphic Dragonona or just Sapphic Strega. You can also find me over on Starlight Tales, getting into queer space shenanigans in some way, shape, or form. And you can find some of my writing in the upcoming or possibly already out baking adventure TTRPG Story Bake. Go check it out. Peep jousting. That's the tagline. That's it, you know?
Hi, everyone. My name is May. You can find me on the internet at I'm sorry. I was thinking about Barnaby for a second because I was like, I need to check out their Twitter. I am not _Barnaby. I am at Maybe Mayhem. I might be a little distracted from the first half of this game. You can also find me on my podcast, Socially Plagued, where my friend Mary Kate and I talk about stuff, all sorts of stuff. So.
And I'm Erik Scott to be one of the founding members of the Dungeon Scrawlers. So happy to have this game on our channel. It's getting real dramatic and real dark, and I'm all here for it. You can find my writing all over the internet. I am on Twitter, whatever the muskrat wants to call it, and Facebook because I'm an old person, and you can find me. I'm going to give a brief plug for our Discord, where we discuss this and other games on the channel. We have lots of content. Come join us. We have a good time. Back to you, Jason.
Ren and Vilra and Gila are on the ship, recovering, reflecting, lamenting. But Tanal and Two Pint, who are in the hangar bay when there is a snap of metal and dust, almost like a cloud of dust, as long sealed blast doors to the entrance to the hangar start to pry open. And as you see, standing as the doors crack and you see a figure emerge, you can see Dale standing at the doors with a blaster pistol in hand, stepping inside, and behind him, Brim with a control cylinder cranked into the control panel, who's activated the long dormant doors to get access to the bay. And behind Brim and behind Dale, Grease and Silver, the 2-1B medical droid, following them inside. Dale has a really serious look on his face, and he is looking around, and he yells over his shoulder, Brim, close the doors. And he sees Tanal, and he steps over to you. And then he looks over, and he sees a crumpled form of a bounty hunter laying on the hangar bay floor. And then as he steps past the wall enough to see a second bounty hunter manacled up to a pipe against the far wall. And he looks to you, and he says, is everyone all right? Where's Vilra?
No, they found us. 3 on the ship. Gila got my sister. It's just...
Let's get everybody inside. Let's get everybody inside right now. and he motions Brim and Grease and Silver inside. Brim closes up the hangar bay doors again, and as they emerged and as they came into the bay, there was one final explosion as the final detonation charge of the communications array went off. There's a horrible rending metal sound that echoes across the rooftops of Somber as the old communications dish that you used to receive a message from your family and friends back on Salashe that the Empire detected and intercepted and determined that there were either at best salvagers or at worst saboteurs or spies, and taking no chances, the Empire has chosen to demolish that dish once and for all to ensure that the locals can never use it again, ensuring that the only communication off-planet for Somber has to be filtered through the hydrocarbon rig, which sits out in the bay with its own massive communications array pointed to the sky. The doors to the hangars close. The last of the echoes of the collapsing of the comm tower ring out. Dale gathers the droid and Tanal and gets you back up on board the ship. Quickly takes stocks, sees Gila's injured. Then they all see Ren. Grease and Silver waste no time, and they go to Ren. And Grease sees the Imperial uniform, doesn't slow her down too much. She just looks to Dale for a moment and looks to the others, but then she says, "Come on, dear, let's lay you down so we can have a look at you." And if Ren will allow this kind old woman with, a first aid technician's uniform on and a 2-1B medical droid that sort of clambers up into the ship, will escort you further back into the crew area where they can find a bunk.
Yeah, Ren isn't really in a position to resist this, but she is going to. Once Tanal has showed Mac up, she looks relieved, and she will give Vilra a last look before heading back.
I'll be right there.
Tanal, who do you go to?
Oh, God. This is like actually like the nightmare. This is the actual nightmare scenario. I think that like she's just is looking back and forth between her sister who has just been dismembered and this person who she's grown to care for so much and like literally not a freaking hour ago just made out with, lying on the ground. I think at the end of the day, Ren can stand and Gila can't. And so I think that she kind of just like falls to her knees next to Gila and immediately like kind of puts like one hand under the back of their head and is just like very softly like whispering and like trying to calm them.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah. You're gonna be okay.
I get him?
Yeah. Yeah, you got him. You got him good. You're a great shot.
I learned from the best. What do we do?
Right now, you just rest. Okay? Just rest.
Okay.
We'll press a very gentle kiss to Gila's forehead.
And gently touches the side of your face. There's a little bit of blood still on her hand. And just kind of like gives up and sort of falls asleep.
Kind of at this point, looks back up to the rest of the group, like eyes wide and brimming with tears. They found us.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my fault.
No. It's no one's
I should have
fault.
gone back out.
Dale looks to you and says, "Gone out where?"
Brothers. That's a funny way to put it. You said that they were brothers. You didn't say what kind.
He looks at you. He doesn't have an immediate response. I'm gonna go check on your guest. And he walks back down
She's
the
my
ramp.
sister. Oh, that one. Yeah, fuck that guy.
He looks over his shoulder as you say sister, and he just nods for a moment, and then he heads down the ramp, presumably to go and check out the bounty hunter and to go and talk with Brim, who's presumably still out of the bay. Brim did not enter the ship, seeing everything that was happening.
No, if you want to go check on Ren, you can. I'll stay with Gila.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I should go and make sure she's okay. Thank you guys. Kind of gets up, brushes away the tears. I think readjusts her jacket that was on around Gila's shoulders to kind of like make a little more comfortable. And then we'll go off to where Ren is being tended to.
You go further back into the back of the ship, into the crew area. Grease is there.
Can I
Silver is
snatch
there.
one of the bottles of liquor that we had found along the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got Ren laid out on one of the bunks. Grease has already unfolded a medical kit and is going through some things, and then Grease sees you approach and then looks to Ren. It's serious, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. You work alongside Roughnecks long enough, you understand these things can happen. Do we have to be concerned about anybody else coming? And she kind of just looks at Tanal, but she kind of gestures to the uniform as Ren lays there.
Did you tell anyone you were coming here?
No.
Okay. Is there any chance that they could have tracked you?
Anything is possible. But if the bounty hunters found you, the Empire can't be too far behind.
Yeah.
And there is a contingent here on the planet.
Okay. For now, I think we can assume that they'll hope that the bounty hunters would have finished us off or got us. That might have bought us a little bit of time.
Not very much time. We need to leave.
You just lay down, okay?
And Grease nods at that and kind of puts just a reassuring hand on your shoulder. And as Silver kind of moves closer, she says, she's right. You need to take this moment so we can help. Dale's smart. He'll keep you hidden, keep you safe. But for now, let's help you.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, you better not. We'll kind of pop the lid or the cork off of the bottle, pass it over.
And Grease looks between the two of you for a moment, and as if sort of she kind of senses that there's something there, and she says, we're going to have to put her to sleep for a while so that Silver can do the work that needs to be done. So if there's anything that you want to say, now would be a good time. I'll give you a moment. And she, come on, you old scalpel. And she pushes Silver a little ways away from the bed for a moment, and the droid steps away, and Grease with them, and leaving Tanal and Ren just a quiet moment at the back of the ship.
I think that Tanal sits on like a stool by the bedside, and we'll kind of grab Ren's one good hand, just give it a squeeze. Have you heard from Mom and Dad?
They're safe, as near as I could tell.
Okay.
I reported their ship destroyed, so no one should be looking for them.
Oh,
But
okay.
I can't guarantee it. I knew people were after you, and I couldn't contact you.
They did. They got in touch. It sounds like they're okay. I wasn't sure because they weren't on any of the wanted lists or the missing lists, but okay.
Ren looks relieved.
They're okay. We're all okay.
I feel like I came here for worse than nothing. You didn't need me. But we are where we are.
I'm glad you're here. It's been I don't know. I don't know if I could stand it if we were all scattered.
Tanal, listen. Squeeze her hand a little tighter. You have to be careful of Vilra. What she did, what happened out there,
What do you mean?
there's something powerful and dark in that girl, and you need to be careful.
No, it's okay. I mean, we've
I
been
know what
figuring
I'm
it out.
talking
She's got
about.
anxiety. It's not that. It's just.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen a Jedi fall. I have.
Oh, and you have. Oh. Well, she's not a Jedi, okay? She could just. She
That
could, like, do
much.
some stuff, and she knows some stuff, but.
That is just going to make her more dangerous. Because she doesn't know how to protect herself. She doesn't know how to
She doesn't
ward
need
off
to.
the
I'll do
dark
it
side.
for her.
Okay. You're strong, Tanal. You
Damn right.
take care of them.
That's what I've been doing this whole time. I'm not gonna quit now.
Also, is that a blaster you installed in 2 Pint? That was amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty. Vilra did that. It's pretty awesome, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. You
I'll
can
be
let
here when
them
you wake
put me under. It's fine.
All right. I'll be here when you wake up, okay? This is all
Yeah.
just gonna be a bad dream.
Don't go gallivanting off again.
I'll try.
All right.
We'll call the medical drive back in.
Grease and Silver come back over. Grease squeezes your hand and all and says, "We'll look after her."
Thank
And
you.
then Silver brings out a syringe, moves to Ren with precision, and gives Ren an injection. And within mere moments, Ren's eyes grow heavy, and then they close.
Oh, the good stuff.
And then Silver and Grease begin work on stabilizing Ren and stabilizing the wound on her missing arm. It's going to take them some time. You can go back
Thank-
out to the rest of the crew. Gila's sitting there. Vilra's sitting there. 2 Pint is nearby. 2 Pint can decide how fidgety they are being right now. And you can hear Dale and Brim talking outside as well in the hangar.
Can I hear anything?
You can hear
I mean-
Dale and Brim talking. Yeah.
Yeah. What are they
So
saying?
he's saying we need to put the bodies in the storage room, and I need to get a sedative from the droid for the hunter that's still awake. For the hunter before he wakes up, is what he would say. I need you to shut down the bay, turn off all the power, so that if anybody comes by, it's just as it's always been, dark and quiet. And Brim agrees and says, okay.
Did either of them notice the lightsaber that's been dropped on the ground?
You can hear them, but you can't see them because they're out of sight
Okay.
down. So unless you're going to go to the ramp and go check it out, you're not sure.
No, because she's not leaving Gila's side.
Then for the moment, you don't know.
Okay.
Tanal, do you stay on the ship with your companion, with your friends for now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think she stays and holds Ren's hand until she's fully unconscious.
A few things
and then
happen. You hear the sounds of the generators of the bay wind down and shut down. And so any of the ambient electrical power, because you had the ship was connected up to try and start to recharge the ship's electrical system, the ship dims a bit. There's still light coming in through the ramp. It doesn't get dark by any stretch, but there's no external power coming to the ship anymore. So if you need to access anything on the ship, you'd have to start the ship to actually get power to the ship for that purpose. But for the moment, it was running power off the bay. All the bay lights go down, the doors, turn off. There's no more access for the doors. And Dale comes back on the ship. He goes to the back. He snatches a syringe off of Silver's supply of sedatives. Goes back down the ramp. Doesn't say anything to anybody. And then him and Brim secure the 3 bodies in a storage room. And if Vilra, if you reach out with the Force, as you can, 2 of the bounty hunters are dead, and 1 of the bounty hunters is still alive.
She would not have.
Okay, then that's fine.
We gotta figure out what we're doing next.
We need to leave.
Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to. We just need to go. I think we need to go. The plan, we have to just go.
I want to know how they knew.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters. We almost...
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't we just... I don't know what to do.
If we want answers, I can think of a place to start.
All right. I don't know that leaving right now is the best option. Okay, we got lucky that, they were doing the demolition, and so there was explosions happening elsewhere in town, so we don't need to worry about them coming to poke here. But I think having a ship power up and to fly away out of nowhere after that is going to be a little bit more noticeable and suspicious than a ship flying off while a rig is exploding. I
think you're right.
Yeah,
I think especially now that they've come after us. I mean, for all the people who live here, and also so that we have a big enough diversion to run.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, we have to do it fast because they are inbound. I'm injured and Ren's injured, and we don't have any munitions or supplies or a plan.
All right. We know that people are on board to rescue in case of emergency, so we've got that. We know that they probably won't check droids going in, so we've got that. We at one point had teams kind of divided up. I think the 2 Pint is very much in a everything we just did can't be for nothing. We gotta figure out a way to make it better for other people. Kind of mode. Right. I mean,
The boat's at the base of the rig. The fisherman said that in an emergency it would be possible to get people out that way.
right.
If we don't want to walk past security, it could be possible to get people in that way too.
That could be. It'd have to be a really stealthy boat.
I don't think so. They go and they fish over there all the time.
We could just say got hired as fishermen.
The
People come and
Empire
go.
Employs probe droids to keep the fishing boats from getting too close to the rig. Dale's voice as he's now standing on the ramp as he's come back up. There are emergency hatches. We can get people out, but they only open from the inside. So if something happened on the rig, and if there was an emergency, and if I could get the workers down to the struts and the boats could move in close, there'd have to be a way to deal with the probe droids who would try and herd the ships away. And they will use force to dissuade the boats if the boats get too close. So there has to be a way to deal with the probe droids in the water, and there has to be somebody who can help detonate hydrocarbon. They're almost at capacity at the top of the rig. There's another few double shifts coming, but there's a lot of oil sitting up there right now, and it's vulnerable.
I mean, to know you're pretty good at shooting stuff, so you could shoot them, but that kind of draws attention to you. The probe droids, that is.
What if one of us were to distract the probe droids, get all of them on us, and then somebody could, with a good shot, maybe an RPG to all that fuel that is up on the deck?
There's also a chance that could, I don't know, get in and try and deactivate some of the probe droids from going out. So there's less to deal with to begin with. I don't know how feasible that is, but if someone's distracted and there's less.
The control station for the droids is on the rig, so anybody trying to slice the control station has to be on the rig.
If we blow up the rig, then they go down. We just need to be able to draw their attention.
It's going to take a very brave ship captain to risk their boat and their crew to do that.
I think I met a couple.
I mean,
Whatever,
go ahead.
whatever we do, we have to do it quickly. We have hours. We don't have days. We don't have weeks. Everything we do at this point is not well thought out. It's all off the seat of our pants, which is why I'm so terrified, because we don't have time to make sure everybody's safe. There's a very good chance somebody in this room isn't going to go home.
You see Vilra just start crying again, and then looks to Two Pint. I guess if you could get on the rig, you could just deactivate the probe droids, which would let the fishermen get close, and then you could sneak off with everyone. You'd have to be really fast. You couldn't take your time, which means no painting on the way. But you could do that, right?
I could. We just.
I can get
so,
the droid on the rig if the
Alright.
droid's willing to come with me.
Alright, so we have a ship captain go out and be ready to distract any remaining probe droids that are already out that I can't take down. I'm on the rig. I deactivate whatever. We're distracting the others. Boom, explosion happens. Then we try and get everyone off. We're evacuating as quickly as possible. We have the boats waiting. It's exploded. We hightail it back here to this ship, and we get out.
Yeah, I get. Or do we evacuate then explode?
It has to happen
You're
at
on
the
the
same time. They're not gonna sound the evacuation alarm unless there's an actual risk to the rig. and the Empire isn't prone to doing safety checks or drills, so they have to believe it's real.
I mean, is it possible that, well, I could get in there, I could set off the alarm from the inside before we start blowing it up? I know it might tip them off that something is going to happen, but it could also be a system malfunction. I don't know all the schematics of how it works, but
Good Slicer could do that.
I'm very good.
He looks to all of you for a moment, and then Grease and Silver come back from the back of the ship.
How is she?
And Grease gives Tanal a small smile of encouragement, and Silver says,
"Her vital signs have stabilized. She is going to make it, but she requires rest."
Okay, yeah, we can rest. We can do that.
Dale says, Brim and I are going to go have a look around. I need you all to just stay here. Can you do that?
Yeah, I think Vilra kind of looks up and wants to like talk to Dale, and like stands up, and it's just like, I want to. Can we have a?
He nods and he gestures Grease and Silver down the ramp. Brim's waiting out, and then he steps down the hangar ramp as well, giving you all a nod. He gives Tanal a nod, and then he steps down the ramp with others. Brim takes Grease and Silver, shows them where the maintenance tunnel is so that they can get out the back, because the bay has all been shut down now, so there's no more power to the main doors, and they don't want to be seen going through that. And so now it is you and Dale at the bottom of the ramp to the freighter that sits in this hangar. The bodies are gone. You don't see the bounty hunters anymore outside. And he just looks to you and he sort of points to one of the storage closets. He says, we put them in there. I gave the one a sedative. He's going to be out for hours. It was a strong dose.
Okay. I don't want the Force anymore. I did that, and I don't want it. Can you take it from me?
He looks to you. Can I take away your spirit? Can I take away your love for your friends?
No.
Yeah, nobody can take those things from you, Vilra. Just as nobody can take this away from you either.
But I don't want it. I did something really bad, and at the time it felt correct and right and good, and I don't like that. And I just want to be regular and normal and fine without it, and live just like a normal person without feeling these things. And I don't want it. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be in that feeling again, because I know I'm going to want to do it again at some point.
You're going to have to learn to trust your feelings. When something feels right, you have to follow that, but you also have to understand that the way you feel right now, these emotional swings, the way it affects you, it causes pain, and there's a reaction to pain to make the pain stop. And it's not a switch. You can't just turn it on and off, but you can control it. You can close it off and keep it just inside yourself. And then when you need to, you can open up and you can feel the force around you, in yourself, in your friends, in the community around you. They're a part of it too. The force is strong with you, Vilra, but there's still so much to learn, and we don't have the time to show you. And then he pulls up from the back of his belt, and he has the lightsaber in his hand, and he turns it over in his hand. But I can see that you're a fast learner, and I promise you'll learn to control this as well. But it's going to take more time. It's going to take more patience. And you have to find, if you can, your calm inside, your peace. And it's different for each of us. And he does some quick manipulation of the lightsaber and detaches the two blades. And he has the two hilts in his hand. And he hands you one.
She doesn't go to take it and kind of just stares at him and is like...
And he nods for a moment, and then he clips it on his belt, and then he takes the other one, and he slides open the base, and you can see that inside the other one that he'd held in his hand, it has the red crystal, which he snaps out. And he says, he hands you that one. He says, here, this is just parts now. It's only a weapon if you choose to make it that.
Yeah,
but a tool is a tool. And he takes the red crystal and he pockets it back on his belt. And then he takes the other half of the lightsaber, that one that has the yellow crystal inside, and he says, it's a tool, it's a symbol, and it can be a weapon if it has to be, but it can also be a shield. Yes, it can take a life, but it can also save one. Everything we just talked about inside the ship, everything we're planning to do, everything that you believed was the right thing to do in your heart. These people need a shield. And your friends are going to need someone to help protect them from whatever comes from this after. And you can trust your skills and trust your knowledge that it's led you up to this point. And then he holds up the lightsaber again. And I can take this and keep it safe. Or I can give it back to you. And you can decide for yourself who you want to be, and who maybe your friends need you to be. And that's a responsibility that we didn't ask for, but it comes. It's one of the prices that we pay with this. And those who didn't want to pay that price, they planted seeds and they tended crops and they took their responsibility that way. But they couldn't act as a shield, and they couldn't have a weapon in their hand when the time was needed most. And that's when your mother had to do that for them. And so I guess, Vilra, what I'm saying is, are you a mechanic or are you a protector?
I think there's a pause, and she he's holding out the lightsaber with the yellow crystal.
Yes.
And I think she looks at her friends. She looks up at him and puts her hand on it and goes, who says I can't be both? If this is my choice and what I'm doing, I can be a mechanic and I can fix things to make things better. And I can protect people. Or I hope I can. I want to. But it's scary.
I know.
And then just holds it in her hand.
You take it back. He's given you the second empty lightsaber for parts that you can use as you will.
Yeah.
And then he puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, I believe in you. And your friends believe in you. You just have to believe in yourself. And then he steps away, nods to Brim. Brim's waiting at the maintenance hatch. Silver and Grease have already gone through, and he gives you one last look and a nod, and then he disappears through the hatch. Brim seals it up from the other side, so it just looks like the wall of the bay again, and then they're gone, and you're left alone in the hangar, holding this lightsaber in your hand. This ship behind you, this ship that still needs a nav computer if it's ever going to make the jump to hyperspace. A ship containing your friends who are wounded and worried, and they're waiting for you.
Yeah, at that point, she sort of puts both of them like in a pocket or something. I'm sure she's got belt loops out like crazy in her little jumpsuit, and like kind of cracked her knuckles and was like, okay, I can be both, and like walks back onto the ship and starts working on the nav computer again, because her happy place is fixing things, and that is what she knows she's good at, and she needs a little bit of a confidence boost and a distraction from everything that just happened.
It all happens so fast. Day turns to afternoon. Some time passes. You stay on the ship. It starts to get a bit cold again because there's no more power to the heaters. Vilwer works on the nav computer. Ren is unconscious and resting. Tanal, you can see that they've assembled, and it's crude, but it appears to be attached right to her arm. A cybernetic arm. Rough-hewn metal, rough-hewn hand, big exposed knuckles, cold, rough to the touch, but you can hold her hand on either side if you needed to.
I think that Tanal does that, and I think that without asking, because this is my sister and she's just gonna have to be cool with it. I think that she will do what she did with her shoulder pauldron, and just with a little bit of excess paint from 2 Pint will paint an identical symbol of a bird onto the shoulder.
By late afternoon, Tanal, your comm link goes off.
Fuck. I answer it.
Pick up the comm link, and Dale's voice comes over. He says, there's been some developments. They're instituting a curfew. No one's allowed out tonight. There's double shifts running for night shift and day shift. They've switched me to the day shift. So I guess they want me there for the final push, the final run of production. They're looking for a missing Imperial officer. They're going homestead to homestead to try and find them. So I need you to stay in the hangar, stay out of sight, and wait. I'll come for the droid in the morning.
Okay. Believe me, I've learned my lesson.
And he says, "Okay, be in touch soon." And he clicks off the comm. Afternoon turns to evening, and it's getting cold. It's getting cold in the ship. It's cold in the hangar. Even if you seal up the ship, it doesn't do much because there's enough cold air inside and seeping in still that it won't keep it out for long. You had the heaters running when you had the ship hooked up to the electrical system of the bay, but it's now that it's not hooked up anymore and there's no power and the ship doesn't run on its own power, it's going to get really cold as night's falling.
I think Tanal will take some time and ransack the ship and the rest of the hangar for any spare blankets, coats, things like that, and just start distributing them among people who need them.
Yeah. There's a little bit, not much, but there's some, absolutely. Vilra, I want you to make your Starship repair roll to see your work on the nav computer and how far along you've gotten.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to use a character point as well.
Okay.
Put that in there. 15 total.
Okay. You've cleaned up the site where they ripped it out. You've prepped the nav computer itself for installation. It fits in the spot. You've been able to make some adjustments so that the nav computer from the Republic dropship will now fit into this freighter and work. And it's almost ready to go. Probably some fine-tuning adjustments. The remaining calibration can't happen until you get the ship powered on. So you've only taken it as far as you can go, and then you have to wait until you have the ability to power up the ship to make the final adjustments, which will require one final Starship repair roll to do that, okay? But it's getting cold. Tanal's getting the blankets, using up some portable heaters that have their own power supply to heat up some calf and some basic things. But it's small gestures, right? It's not enough to keep the biting cold at bay as the temperature outside in the tundra drops lower and lower. Is there anything differently that you can do?
I mean, do lightsabers count as a heat source?
They do not.
They should.
As much as they melt things and cut through things, in fact, they have a very, very minor heat signature. It's a very peculiar technology.
That once she's kind of finished distributing most of like the blankets and jackets, I think that she'll go over and kind of slide under the blanket with Gila and put like one arm around them to kind of and like just kind of like hold them close for a little bit, just sitting, and like there's a breath of relief that comes out of her every time Gila exhales. It's like, oh god, they're still okay.
Can I do another first aid on Gila?
Absolutely.
Sort of just periodically popping in to do that kind of thing. Okay. Is it the same roll even without a med kit? Because I don't think we have any more.
Do you have another med pack amongst the crew?
I have another one. I took some.
Nice. Then yeah, I can roll my first aid.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use a character point again because this feels appropriate.
While people are kind of settling in, 2 Pint, who doesn't need a blanket or coat, is just kind of trying to keep the mood up a little bit and just like telling stories of times they all almost got in trouble back home, and just kind of talking until or unless someone tells 2 Pint to shut up. He's just gonna like tell stories and be like, remember when?
And 2 Pint's a visual storyteller, 2 Pint. So what mural do you paint as you tell this story of youthful adventures back on Salashay?
I think the mural is the giant AT-AT that they found and accidentally activated. And so it's that, and then all 4 of them are kind of like standing on top of it, and it's just been taken over by vines and plants and bushes, and there's like a little bird's nest kind of in one corner of it, and so they're just looking out on top of this giant robot.
All right. And Vilra, your roll?
I got a 15.
Okay. Gila, you're now wounded once, so instead of minus 2d, you're only minus 1d, one more stage down. And so that will, it's getting better. You're still super sore and achy, still got sensitivity and tenderness, but you're a little more functional now. You're not, the pain doesn't interfere as much with what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Oh, seriously, thank you. I don't know what you did out there, but thank you.
Yeah. Okay, she kind of looks at everyone and is sort of like, oh, yes, the elephant in the room for maybe like a minute. It's just like, I did what I thought was the right thing, but I'm going to work on that.
We're all still here, so it couldn't have been too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. We're together, and that's what's important.
Yeah, we're together. I miss home.
Me too.
And as Gila says she misses home, that air, that you can see her breath coming out as she speaks as the temperature is dropping in the ship.
So is this forever? Is the cold just a thing we're not gonna
guess.
do anything?
Oh,
I don't know how to eat.
We should crash land somewhere tropical next time.
Yeah. Oh, God, I much prefer the heat.
You'd prefer the heat, Vilra. How do you get heat?
Fire?
Sure, but probably
Okay.
not so practical where you are right now. How do they get heat in Somber?
Oh, the geothermal.
Geothermal heat pumps, right? Deep
yeah.
down to the earth. Every building in Somber has one.
There should be one here.
One for the hangar. Are the heat pumps inside or are they outside?
Of the buildings, they're outside the buildings.
Where was Brim working on it?
Like in the alleyway.
So he was
like
on
outside the
of
building.
the building, right?
We were told specifically not to leave.
You were told specifically not to leave. And you know that heat pumps are how Somber keeps the heat at bay. And you know that if you hooked up the ship to the heat pump directly, because the heat pump is probably running off of the settlement power and not the bay power. But it also means you'd have to go outside the bay to find it.
Do I believe that we are at risk for freezing to death?
There's maybe not freezing to death, but Gila is still wounded, but Ren is still unconscious, and Ren is recovering from surgery. So Ren's vitals are stable, but they are still weak. And so as the temperature gets colder, you don't know much about surgery, but what does it do to a patient if they are not kept warm?
What if I snuggled her? I know Ren gave me a bad look earlier, but that is still, and the term bad is not necessary. It's more of just a like not pleasant. Like it was a look of, oh my, someone from my home is here and is doing something good. It was a what the heck kind of look.
It was a you might be an enemy sort of look.
Yeah. But that's still one of her best friend's sisters, someone who's always been good to her. We're not supposed to, Jason, we're not supposed to go outside.
If you tell me
can you just stay here? Biggest challenge to the party so far.
And I do think Vilra is scared enough to not want to go outside, to not follow, and then sort of looks at Ren and is like, or looks at Tanal and is like, should I keep her? Like,
I mean, unless we want to start losing toes, I feel like we don't really have much of a choice.
Okay. Frick. Okay. Okay. And is, I think takes the blanket that Tanal gave her, wraps it around Ren probably because she is the sickest. And then is like, okay, 2 Pint, will you come with me? I want to go work on the geothermal pump and see if I can get some heat in here because it's getting pretty bad.
Oh, yes. I will keep watch.
Yeah. And in case something needs slicing, you're way better at it than me.
Right.
So you're going to go through the maintenance hatch?
Yeah, I'm gonna
outside
go through the
ring and
maintenance
in
hatch.
search of the heat pump. You need to bring some conduit piping with you, so you can basically run some air lines, so that you can take warm air directly from the heat pump and pump it back into the ship. So you have to run the piping with you, take it through the maintenance corridor, and there's enough of it in the bay that you can easily do that. Two Pine can help carry that with their winch and just have a coil of it, and you can just be uncoiling it behind you like a a big long string all the way back to the ship. And you'll have to go outside into the cold air outside to do that.
Yeah, and it's gonna take twice as long, I feel like, just to get there, because she is being so sneaky and is trying to tiptoe, and like any sound or sight or smell that looks odd, she's like desperately does not want to get caught and cause any more drama. She just wants to keep what is the last of her family, essentially, warm and alive, because she doesn't know where her mom is. She doesn't know where her dad is, or Rolwara. This is all she has left. And she would do anything for them.
Two Pine is following Vilra's lead, keeping a lookout, trying to be quiet. Understands stakes are high.
Outside. You've come up one side of the ring already, because it's the ring that's the side of the bay that's closer to town, and there's no heat pump on that side, so you're gonna have to explore the far side of the ring. You just haven't been around that far before, because you always stop at the maintenance hatch, because that was the priority, was to get inside the hangar and out of sight. So you both come outside and you both come all the way around. You come around the far side of the ring, the back side of the ring you haven't been to. Still mostly exposed to the tundra. There's a few buildings in the short distance away. There's also the other wall of the other ring bay, which you've never been inside. So that blocks a huge amount of the view of this side of the ring. So there's one or two homesteads or buildings sort of a little bit further down. Yes, there's lights on the roof, lights in the buildings, but there's no windows. It's not like they have a view of the tundra that they're spending a lot of time staring out at it. So it's pretty sheltered on this side. Not sheltered from the wind, not sheltered from the cold, but sheltered from view. If there's a curfew, night has started to fall now. The sun has set, which is why that temperature drop has been so dramatic suddenly. But they're not patrolling on the tundra. Even the snowtroopers don't come out here unless they absolutely have to. And you find the access point. Massive pipes running from the bay down into the ground. And then there's some control panels and things here. And you find the access point for the heat pump here on the far side of the ring. And you can bring your piping with you and connect up to it. And the heat pump is connected to the power for the settlement. It still runs. It's still designed to provide heat to the bay, but the bay itself has to be turned on so that the fans work and the circulation works to get that heat inside. And Brim shut everything back down again so that the bay looks dark and quiet like it needed it to be. And so you find it, you're there, there's no one else around, it seems pretty secluded, you feel reasonably safe, you listen and you pause, you don't hear the sound of probe droids or anything that way coming out. Presumably they're focused on wherever they're doing their door-to-door search for this missing Imperial officer. As you are both out there, I need you to both roll perception for me.
I got a 12.
8.
Two Pines helping you drag and uncoil the piping for the heating. Though you can see that there is another small outbuilding separate from the bay, a short distance away. It doesn't look active, it doesn't look like it's been used in some time. There's no tracks in the snow leading to or from it. There's a small, simple door in front. But Villa, what you do see is this sort of almost domed small outbuilding outside the bay, and what you see, Vilra, is a ring of tundra grass all the way around it.
Like the snow is melted.
Yes.
Hey, Two Pint, look at that.
Like, weird.
We should check it out, right? I don't want it to be something that's gonna like explode, or and if it's something that's warm or useful. And it's near the tundra. I haven't heard or seen anything. It's not that far. We could be quick.
All right. Let's get heat connected here first.
Yeah.
And if there is we'll look around, and if there's really nothing, then yes, we should investigate.
Okay. No, that's a good plan. I like that plan. Okay,
But
so
first,
she finishes heat and connects the
Both of you can
stuff.
both of you can roll a technical roll for me for your just overall technical maintenance as you connect the pipes and see how temperamental this heat pump is and whether it's going to work to get the heat all the way around the ring and inside.
4.
Oh gosh, my dice fell. Let me grab another one. Okay. No explosion, but that's 12, 13 plus 6, 19.
Good roll. Vilra, your hands are cold. It's difficult to manipulate the tools. It's difficult to get things going. Two Pint doesn't have that difficulty. Two Pint's able to take over and start connecting all of the pieces and accessing and says, yes, there's enough. There's enough of a fan here that you can pump the excess heat energy from the heat pump, where it's basically just recycling it and storing it, waiting for it to be dispersed throughout the bay. Run it through these pipes, which will run around the long side. You're taking a bit of moment. Your gaze is distracted as you keep looking at this outbuilding, but Two Pint's able to get the pipes hooked up. You think you'll be able to start pumping heat to the ship using this.
We're all good here.
Yeah, okay, good.
Are you sure you want to investigate? Because I'm with you if you do, but, you know, we're already doing something we're not supposed to, so.
Yeah. I figure just to be safe, make sure nothing's in there.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Follow your lead.
Yep, so once again, very slowly, carefully looking around, like cognizant of what she's smelling. I think wants to use the force sense stuff, but is really scared to, but then decides, like, I can be the shield, like, and does life detection, which is, I believe, just... No, sorry, I was looking at... Yeah, to detect live sentient beings who might otherwise remain hidden from their normal senses.
So roll your sense for me, please.
Okay.
Same modifiers?
And then does this...
Proximity and relationship, is that the same modifiers that they apply?
Life detection, very easy if the subject has force skills or is force sensitive, moderate if not, modified by relationship.
Yeah, so very easy, but unless you know the person, then it's a little bit more difficult. So go ahead and roll.
Okay. And then I use a wild die still, correct?
Yes, you do.
So 15 total.
Two Pint doesn't detect his life, so you don't sense Two Pint, but you know Two Pint's there. But when you concentrate in front of you, when you are calm and just focus for a moment, as Dale reminded you to, you don't sense anybody else in front of you as you stand in front of it, as you stand in front of the outbuilding.
I don't think anyone's in there, so that's good.
Right.
But as you get close enough to it, Vilra, the wall, there's a warmth that comes off the wall.
Oh, that's nice. Is there I'm assuming there's a door.
There's a door.
Is the, like, handle hot? Like,
No.
okay.
The door has that same warmth to the touch, and there's, like I said, tundra grass peeking up at the sill of the door, all the way, and then all the way around the outer part of the dome.
I think at that point she sort of looks to Two Pint, kind of grabs the handle, confirms with Two Pint again.
Because it looks like this dome is not attached to any power, so there's actually a hand crank to just crank the door to have it slide open for you. And so you just use the hand crank and crank it open.
Yeah, cranks it open.
And as you
slowly.
do that, and as you crank open the door, there is a wave of warm air that envelops you and Two Pint. And this is what you hear.
I am muted. I was excited. I think she just goes, water. Is it a hot spring?
This outbuilding, this domed shelter, is covering up a natural hot spring beneath the surface of the top.
Oh, we could clean up for once. I'm not gonna lie. I feel so dirty. But and then looks around. Is there anyone else in the building? Is there anything there?
It's a set of cut stone stairs that seem to have been carved a long time ago that descend down in a semicircle, going down to a simple sort of stone ledge at the bottom. There's no benches, there's no technology, there's no data pads, there's no control panels, there's no lights. What there is a hole at the top of the dome that allows the hot air to just gently escape and allows a little bit of the night air and the night light. And there's a moon and there's some stars, there's a bit of cloud cover, but there's a bit of natural light that comes down, so you can still see. And of course, you can pop a glow rod if you need to. And 2 Pint has their glow rod on their chassis, but you can just pop down there, and that's all it is. It's like it's an old, disused hot spring.
Oh.
And there's a pool of water that's just bubbling and slowly circulating and churning. And the air in here, and like you said, that you immediately get that humidity and that moisture on your skin, that urge to want to wash your face.
This is... Why don't people use this? Oh my god, do they not know? Oh, we have to tell the...
Yeah, we should tell the others.
Yeah, because we're all a little bit stinky, too. I mean, we've been through a lot, so, you know.
If anybody did come to check the bay, what would they find? And if you weren't in the bay, what would they find?
Nothing. I mean, they'd find an arm. Yeah. Let's go grab the others. With a quickness.
You head back to the maintenance hatch, head inside. Again, it's quiet, it's dark, the wind's blowing outside, it's quite cold. The moment you come outside the hot springs, you're back to that biting cold air. You go back to the ship. You can tell them what you found.
We found a hot spring. Like a full, bubbling, warm water.
Oh.
It looks like it's been abandoned for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it gets too hot sometimes and it's burned someone. I can only imagine. But like humidity and I cannot stress enough warm water.
Oh,
if not hot water. I'd like to bathe in it, and I would like you all to join me, please. And I'd like you to bring your gun with you too.
Okay.
I know we're not supposed to leave, and I know.
No,
But I think this could be healing. But I trust your judgment more than my own right now. Both of yours. Literally anyone else's judgment more than my own right now.
Well, I mean, if everything goes to hell tomorrow, might as well feel good tonight, right?
Yeah, I'd like to do it. You know, not with grime on me. Normally I don't mind being dirty, but like
this is a different kind of dirt.
It is. This dirt is different.
Yeah.
If you want, I can stay and watch over Ren. Baths don't impact me positively, so I'd be happy to keep watch here and alert you if someone comes, and y'all can go. Or I could stand watch there. I don't know, but whatever you need. I don't smell, so I can't attest to how you smell, but I would imagine not great, based on what I know.
Yeah, maybe come with us. Because I don't want to, if I'm going to get caught, I don't want to get caught naked. Personally.
Did we wake up Ren?
Will she wake up right now? I know they knocked her out pretty hard.
Gave her some pretty strong sedatives, so it doesn't seem likely unless any of you know enough about advanced first aid and how to revive a person that's been given a sedative. But you do know that 2 pint is strong enough to carry a body if you were to sling up her 2 pint's winch under Ren's arms.
I can bring Ren.
Yeah, I don't want to leave her.
Yeah.
Arm singular.
Arm.
Well,
no.
well, where
Well,
on the arm
I
was...
guess there is another
There's
arm,
another
but
one.
Yeah.
another one.
that
It's
joint
fine.
that joint is still kind of it's fine.
It's probably
Yeah.
probably not what Grease would recommend doing. But I'm just saying in terms of.
Well, Grace isn't here,
in terms
so...
of
true.
2 pints.
Yeah.
2 pints like I can lift things. I have a winch.
And also, is it above the elbow or below the elbow that got cut off? Just for
It's above the elbow.
above the elbow. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, let's all go.
Right, I
Because
think.
maybe if Ren does wake up, we can maybe help clean
I
her
think,
off if
yeah.
she wants to.
Yeah, I think the worm would do us all some good.
Yeah, for real.
I'll go get
Okay.
Ren.
2 pint winches up. Ren, you all go back out one more time into the cold, into the blowing snow, following Vilra as she leads you around the ring to this domed outbuilding that you hadn't seen before because it was on the far side of the bay. And as you all get there, you all see the same thing that Vilra did, which is this ring of tundra grass exposed anywhere against where it touches the side of the dome. And there's a small door that's been winched open and takes you all inside, and then you all hear that sound.
See?
And as you stand outside the door and you hear the sound of the water, and as you look up for a second because you feel something touch your skin, as big, fat snowflakes start to fall all over you and all over Saul.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up some glow rods so that we can see around here. And then I guess we can get cozy for a second.
That heat is just seductive. It is so inviting.
I never thought I'd be warm again.
I know, for real. I regret every time I complained about how hot summer was in Salshay. I am so sorry. Gila, how do you feel? Do you feel like you could... This is good?
This is very good. Starts taking off her clothes, just every intention of getting in this water.
Same. Vilra's getting full naked, like... Because also wet clothes in the cold, worst idea, so... But yeah, set up like a few glow rods just kind of nearby so that they could see. And then gets in.
Anyone that's ever experienced the feeling of getting into a hot spring and the warmth that envelops your entire body, especially when you are naked, when there's nothing between you and the water and the heat, there is no other feeling like that.
This is good. And I think fully submerges, like scrubs at her face, scrubs at her head and her horns, and then comes back up. And it's just like, oh. I'm glad we're all okay. Well,
Yeah.
Gila, I'm glad that you're getting better, too.
Nice just to, I guess, relax for a moment. Are you getting in tonight?
Yeah, I think that she'll like pull her boots off and get down to like a sports bra or boxers and kind of just will sit on the edge with her feet in. I think kind of just occasionally like looking back at Ren unconscious on the side, like not wanting to fully submerge just in case. And she's got like one hand as she's leaning back on, like she's brought her like rifle.
And Two Pine will kind of come over and be like, if you want to go in, I've got it. I've got Ren.
Sure.
I've got... Yeah.
Okay,
I've
great.
got
And
it.
kind of slides in with as much of like as a person can do a cannonball in a situation like this when it's that small. Kind of slides in with a splash, goes all the way under, comes back up, flips her hat of her face. Oh my god.
Two Pint will come to the water's edge every once in a while and get like a little, as much water as like can get in their little droid hand and come over and just try and like clean up Ren's face a little bit of dust and grime and blood splatter and, you know, just get a little, little face clean sponge
do you have
bath.
first aid as a skill?
Nope.
Okay, roll your tentacle for me, because you're just giving Ren a little TLC.
Yeah. It's 4D plus 1. So that's... Oh, I rolled really good. 12, 15, 21.
It's been several hours since the surgery, since they attached a crude functional cybernetic arm to Ren's body. And so the sedatives are starting to come down, and Silver's not there to administer or to do that. But what they gave Ren was pretty good. And as Two Pint uses the soft brushes, the pieces that Two Pint can use to do shading and blurring and painting and things, and does a bit of scrubbing on Ren's skin, the warmth of the hot spring, the fact that the pain of the injury has been replaced with the pain of recovery. It's a different kind of pain. It's uncomfortable, but it's manageable. And with Ren's military training and skill in terms of having to go out in the field and having dealt with battlefield situations, Ren's pretty rugged. And as Two Pint scrubs Ren's skin, getting a bit of that grime and grease and other pieces off, Ren, your eyes open.
Hi. You're okay. You're okay.
Oh my god.
Ren's awake.
Immediately like hops out and is next to her. Hey, how do you feel?
Am I dead?
No, not yet.
Not sure whether to be relieved or surprised. Why are you naked?
Taking a bath.
That's why I thought I was dead.
Okay, well, that's rude.
No, I mean, where would you take a bath?
Hot spring. We found one. Pretty much immediately.
What did they inject me with?
I have no idea. You snore, you know?
Yeah, well, I had my arm. Oh, yeah, that wasn't a dream either.
No. Not too bad.
I'm glad. Wait, how's Sheila?
They're okay.
Hi.
And also naked. Okay.
Yeah, Bilra's head kind of peeks up and is like, and then like slinks back down, remembering that look you gave her. Like at the moment it didn't register it, but now it has, and is like, oh, and
I'm gonna be okay, Birdie. You should hang out with your friends. Thanks for saving me.
I am hanging out with my friends and kind of just like flops back on the ground so she's like laying next to Ren.
Is that what we are now? Friends?
I don't know, we haven't really tried that in a while, have we?
When you say a while, I think you mean ever.
That's true. And I guess it hasn't all been your fault.
Just mostly, right?
Just mostly. I'm willing to go like 60-40.
60-40 seems fair.
All right. Deal.
Zzz.
Mom's gonna kill us. Isn't
Probably. Huh. Yeah, Ren seems pretty okay with this droid arm, so to see how this thing handles.
I'm sure
But
you'll
we're-
get the hang of it.
But we're safe, right?
For the next, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours, yeah. Then we're gonna go do something stupid.
That sounds in character.
You should rest. We're gonna have to make a speedy getaway. Even if
Yeah.
everything goes according to plan, which it probably won't.
Yeah, Ren closes her eyes again
Yeah.
and just relaxes.
Gila, what's this chapter of the story called?
Oh man. This is worth fighting for.
And as you look across the spring, as you look at the sisters as they reconnect again for the third time, do you think this one will stick?
It doesn't. It's alright. It's every time I get to see the both of them be together. And it's a beautiful moment, and isn't that what life is about, is small, beautiful moments?
And who are you sharing this beautiful moment with?
My friends. Splashing water with Vilra, looking longingly at Tanal. It's a reminder that, everything sucks. And it doesn't always feel like it's gonna get better. But we can thank the universe for hot tubs and tender kisses and kind words and words of affirmation between people. And that those are the things that bind the universe together, not some stupid force thing.
And Tanal, as you look at Gila, everything that she just said, which obviously you don't hear, you see reflected in the expression on her face.
I think that she has she's laid next to Ren, but also along the edge, and I think we'll just reach a hand out into the water from where she is.
I'm gonna lace her fingers with your fingers instead of rub across the top of your hand.
Bilro looks at 2 Pint.
Y'all should hold hands too.
Yeah. Well, no, I was looking at you see this? You see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I
You
think
see what I'm seeing?
2 Pint just gives a nod and also a shake of his head, what the hell?
I think that
Good for them, but come on.
Tanal leans her head back and closes her eyes, lets out a very satisfied sigh, and just says, "We'll talk about it if we all live."
And 2 Pint, as the organics soak their chassis, as they are susceptible to the ranges of temperature in a way that you'll never understand, and as they laugh, and as they smile, and make those specific noises that describe their mood or their thoughts. What mural does 2 Pint leave behind on the rock wall of the hot spring?
think, right, there's been a lot of murals of their life before, or of, you know, calls to action, calls to arms. So I think in this moment, Two Pint wants to focus on what's coming next. So I think Two Pint paints them all, sitting in the new ship, going out into the stars, all laughing, kind of memorializing moments that are yet to come.
And the Jim Snore light freighter, the Carillion freighter, has that large engine and crew area, that thin neck leading to that clamshell cockpit with the hull plating over the top and the big exposed view screens below. And so you draw this ship up the wall, up the stairs leading up to the top of the hot springs. This ship racing towards the stars with the crew inside, all smiles and laughing. And as you get up to the top, Two Pint, and you can see the door to the hot springs there, and you can see these big, slow, fat snowflakes descending down. And as the sounds of their voices starts to get quieter, it's replaced by the sound of snowfall. And the snowfall has a distinct sound because it's almost the sound of silence, where it just muffles and blankets everything, so very little sound transfers, but you're aware of it, you can perceive it. And as somber, as quiet as you've heard it since you arrived, there's a snowfall happening, it's blanketing the settlement, but there's always still a bit of night activity, there's still a bit of a night crowd, there's still night fishing, but it's all quiet, it's all dim, you barely hear any sounds, because there's a curfew. There's a curfew prohibiting anybody traveling through Somber tonight, presumably while the Empire conducts their search. And if they can't travel through the streets, Two Pint, what can't they do?
They can't find us, see the snow, do what they need to do to live.
You're right. They can't do what they need to live. And what is something that organics like to do a lot?
Eat, talk, be annoying.
And where do organics eat and talk and be annoying?
The cantina. There's a droid that needs legs there.
There's a droid that needs legs at the cantina. A cantina that no one's allowed to go to tonight.
I think Two Pint is going to kind of fly on back down to the group and be like, I'm gonna go just double check.
Before you say anything, as you get down to the bottom, they're pretty much all in various stages of sleep, or dozing, or just barely awake. Their eyes are closed, they're soaking, they've had their moment, and now the sheer exhaustion combined with the sheer pleasure of the hot springs, organics have to shut down and recharge, just like droids have to be shut down and recharged. They're all recharging right now. You can still say something to them if you wish, but you know that for the moment, this is the first time they've all had to recharge.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Yeah, I think if Two Pint can smile, Two Pint smiles. Whatever droid equivalent of that is. And it's just gonna very quietly say, I'm just gonna go double check that everything's good, and I'll be back. And it's gonna go open the door, make sure no one's looking, head to the hangar, grab the legs, and go fix up a buddy.
And as you all doze and slumber in the hot springs, big fat white flakes that just hit the top of the dome instantly are melted away. comfort of a held hand, the reassurance of a whispered voice, and your mechanical friend spray painting the walls, that soothing white noise that instantly causes you all to start to drift off. And as Two Pint gets to the top of the stairs, it sees the snow, it sees their companions, and then heads off to the hangar, hooks up a pair of B2 battle droid legs, and then zips out through the maintenance hatch one more time. It doesn't return to the hot springs, and instead disappears into the falling white curtain of somber. And that's where we leave this episode of Quadrilateral Frostfall. I have been your Game Master, Jason Collins. You can find my work, my freelance work, and the episodes of Quadrilateral on my link tree at digital_Collins.
Hi everybody, my name is Barnaby. You can find me at @that's_Barnaby all over the internet, and again, you can also find me on Imagination Arcade playing Yaroslav.
Hello, I'm Mara. You can find me on the internet at College of Lore Dropout or Lore Dropout, as well as over on Starlight Tales.
Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me at Sapphic Strigonona or just Sapphic Straga. You can also find me at Starlight Tales, and you can find my writing in the upcoming tabletop baking adventure game Story Bake.
Hi everyone, my name is May. You can find me on the internet at Maybe Mayhem. You can also find me on my podcast, Socially Plagued, where all good pods are casted.
And I'm Erik Scott to be, member of the Dungeon Scrawlers. You can find me here on this channel. We're so happy to host Quadrilateral on our channel. This is amazing. I love playing with all of you. This is a great game. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you, all the other players. I'm anxious to see what happens next. Go check out our Discord and our many other videos. There are literally hundreds of hours of content that you can watch as storytellers telling stories. So.
And we'll see you next week as we continue this story. We thank you for being here. We thank you for your support. And we wish all of our spacers and scoundrels safe skies.